Megan Fox.
And Megan Fox has the story.
Megan Fox.
Megan Fox.
Megan Fox writes at PJ Media.
Eat shit, Tucker.
And that was your last.
God damn it, Vic. I cried for 2 days.
Megan, thank you very much for that.
So, I can explain the bed thing. A nest in one of my penthouses, and I had to pry a steak.
It's like Jesus going into the temple. He's like, I got a whip. Get out! Get out!
I would have thrown them all off the balcony.
Megan Fox.
She's the devil. And honestly, Megan, if you don't like it, I'm sorry.
There's something about the way that you say my name. Make me forget everything when you call
Megan.
me.
Megan.
Megan Fox.
Megan.
Megan.
Megan Fox.
I've been very nice to you, although I could probably maybe not be based on the way you have treated me, but I wouldn't do that.
You've never met a bitch like me. You want to tangle? You want to go? Holy shit. Holy shit.
Too much cussing on this. I guess we didn't bleep it, so we got to turn it off. But
You pissed off the wrong woman.
oh my God, I have been assaulted. What you gonna do when Megan Fox runs wild on you, brother?
She's the devil.
Not for publication.
Megan Fox.
And Megan Fox has the story.
I'm Megan.
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 Megan Fox.
Miss Rackets,
Thank
cheers.
you. Cheers.
Well, look, bitch, you're not serious either. You didn't even do the paperwork in time.
I boomered it, Paula.
You did.
Muted.
Immediate. Wait, let me put the dog downstairs. Hang on a second.
Well, we can hear Paula. We can hear all the barking. The puppies are in revolt, by the way. So you guys, the chat, you're muted. I don't know why that did that. It shouldn't have. It's supposed to automatically come off. I didn't even share this in the locals, so let me go and do that. Share it in the locals right now for you guys live. And start a live chat. Sorry, I didn't do that. I'm doing it now. But I have to find the YouTube link because I got to find the YouTube link and that could take me a while. So maybe I should just forget about it. Hey, Paula, how are you?
I'm good. How are you? I didn't know we were doing this live. I thought we were recording it.
Oh, no, I'm sorry. I never do
Sorry.
anything recorded anymore. It's too much work. And then you got to upload it somewhere and download it. And it's like, forget it. And then the chat doesn't get to ask questions. And they've been really interested in this Ohio story. So I just wanted to talk about what is going on in Ohio with we're calling it the bomb train now.
A reporter actually, I listened to the press conference, Governor Mike DeWine's press conference yesterday, and a reporter called it a bomb train. And it was sort of not a wrong way to.
No, it's not
characterize
inaccurate. It was going to blow
No.
up and then they blew it up. So yeah, I like the bomb train. I think that works. But
Yeah, it's catchy.
you wrote this article, so I have it here. I can pull it up because everybody's been asking for more details on this. And I was pretty shocked to read what you found out and what was in that press conference. So let me pull this up on the screen so everybody can see it. Paula, by the way, is the managing editor of PJ Media. She's awesome. She writes and edits. She does it all. Look at the devastation of this. This is insane. I was talking to my husband last night. He had been on some road trip that he went through Pennsylvania, and he said he was shocked at the state of the railroad tracks. He said he went over some railroad tracks and they were warped and almost wavy. And he said, looking at them, I couldn't even believe what I was seeing. If a train went over that, it would be off the track.
Oh, that doesn't sound good.
No. And I'm wondering if across this country, are we just having, is this the natural breakdown of not updating these railroads? I don't know. But anyway, why don't we talk about this article? What did you find out at the press conference?
Well, the first big takeaway was this train that was carrying toxic chemicals was not characterized as hazardous. It wasn't, there's a certain category where it's a train car is carrying hazardous chemicals, and this one was not characterized that way.
That's terrifying.
Yeah.
So no one knew that it was
Right,
carrying deadly chemicals across the state.
Right. I don't think I've heard where it had been before that. It had been probably across several states. And some have pointed to loosening of regulations in 2020 of train regulations to make it easier to transport LP liquid propane gas. And that's quite possibly the case. But yeah, these people in this little small town of East Palestine, Ohio, had no idea that day after day after day, possibly dangerous, deadly chemicals have been just running through their little town.
Yeah, unbelievable that this was not. So this is interesting. So DeWine noted that around 50 railroad cars were involved in the crash. 10 of those were hauling hazardous materials. He said that both the U.S. and Ohio EPA were on the scene almost immediately to slow the flow of contaminated water while firefighters worked to put out the fire. 2 days later, concerns began to arise in regard to the temperature in one of the cars, which was described to him as volatile. He immediately activated the National Guard. The fear was that this car might explode, sending deadly shrapnel in all directions, he explained. So after meeting, they decided the best way to do it was to do a controlled explosion so that there wouldn't be this catastrophic explosion and the shrapnel shooting out for nearly a mile is what they calculated. This is an incredible disaster.
It is, indeed. And they made that decision to do the controlled burn after consulting. Well, DeWine was on the phone with the governor of Pennsylvania for several hours that day because it's right on the border of Pennsylvania. And they also looked at modeling that the National Guard had done for just this kind of scenario. And that's how they determined it was going to be better just to burn it off quickly, get it done, put the fire out, and, then they could begin the remediation process.
Bad Weather Biker, thanks for the super chat, says you need to research PSR and how it has devastated the rail industry. Precision scheduled railroading is a management philosophy that has gutted the rail industry and compromised safety. This is the thing I believe I've been hearing about, where now people are coming out and saying, we have warned of these derailments. Like we've said, I feel like we're living Atlas Shrugged right now. Like everything is coming true.
Complete with the train. It's true.
Complete with the trains. Like, oh my gosh, we've gotten to a point. And how can we in 2023, when we have all this technology, right? The technology is off the charts. And yet we are talking about train tracks that are so poorly maintained that there were 3 derailments in the last week and a half. So it's not just Ohio. There was one in South Carolina, and there was another one in another state. I don't remember which one. And now we have another a crash in Tucson that I'm looking at too, with toxic chemicals being released into the air from a truck in Tucson. There's just a whole lot of stuff going on with our industry, our shipping industry, that points to perhaps bad problems.
Yeah. Well, our colleague Charlie Martin posted on our Slack the other day a tweet, and it was not unusual to have some 1,200 train I think it was 1,200 train accidents per year.
Yeah, I think it's higher than that. I think it's actually, I think the number I saw was around 1,700. So we do have a
Okay.
lot of train
Mhm.
derailments. So perhaps, I mean, people are like, kind of freaking out about this because it's a really bad one. Because
Right.
what are the reports, Paula, coming in of dead fish and animals and things? People are concerned about the water tables. What do you know about that?
Right. Well, let me start by saying, clearing up something. There's been reporting that there's been no response to this, that these people are left to fend for themselves, and it's clear after hearing the press conference and all the people from the EPA to the health department to the
National Guard.
National Guard,
Yeah.
and the federal EPA is also on the scene. So there's been a tremendous response to this terrible explosion, and they're digging up soil. I read that they're going down 8 feet and digging up the soil, and they're containing what's going into the waterways, things like that. There is, however, what they're calling a plume of chemicals floating down the streams to the Ohio River. Now they're saying by the time it gets to the Ohio River, which the Ohio River is a huge water table, excuse me, and it affects could affect the drinking water for this whole area of the country.
I heard, and I
New
don't know if
York.
this is correct, but I heard that the Ohio River sources 10% of drinking water in the country, which is kind of a high number to me. I'm actually very surprised by that, if that's true. I don't know if that's true. Do you know?
I haven't heard that, but it's I saw a map today, and it was mostly this area of the country. So Ohio and the surrounding states, all the way up to New York.
Wow.
So
I thought we got most of our water from the Great Lakes. I'm in New York. We get our water from, well, I get mine from the mountain because I have a well, but most people get it from the Great Lake. That's Lake Ontario.
Yeah,
But yeah, water tables are a very, very big deal, right?
they
You
are. Yeah.
contaminate the water table, and then you have a massive, massive problem.
Right. The good news is the Ohio River is huge. I don't know if you've ever driven across it, that
I'm sure I
big
have.
bridge from Ohio to Kentucky.
Uh-huh.
And it takes you almost a minute probably to drive across it. So it's a huge river, and the amounts, according to the Ohio Health Department, the amounts that are going into the river are small. They're not the most toxic chemicals. They're not the vinyl one.
Okay. Well, that's good.
It is. And they're saying, by the time they get to the Ohio River, once they flow out into that, it's going to be so diluted very quickly. But they are actually looking at, if it does end up being a problem, they can they can shut off where the water goes. They have some control
that's
over
good.
where that water goes.
Well, Newsweek is reporting that more than 5 million people are getting drinking water that comes from the Ohio River. So that's a considerable number of people.
That's a lot of people.
It's a lot of people, and we definitely. I'm glad to hear that they're putting those sorts of, fail safes into place.
Mhm.
I guess my concern is, and I think this is what most people feel these days, is that our government, lies to us on a regular basis.
Yes.
So yeah, like this is what the chat is saying. We believe these authorities. Why? Why? This is a problem, Paula. This is what happens when government gets caught, lying to us for 3 years about COVID, where
Right.
it came from, how it got here, what it was really going to do, what were the risks, what masks do, and all this other
Exactly.
stuff. What
Yeah.
the vaccine was supposed to do.
There's no trust in our authorities, our government authorities anymore. And even for, those of us who work in the media business, I told you on Slack the other day, I don't know what's real and what's a deep fake. You see videos like, is this real? I don't know. Is this some Chinese, psyops?
I know. Well, wait. Let's actually show them what we were talking about, because this clip is so crazy. First of all, I have never heard of East Palestine, Ohio. I'm not from Ohio, so maybe you
Mhm.
had you.
Yeah.
Is this a place that people talk about in Ohio? I know it's far
No,
away from you.
it's a little podunk town, like sort of where you live and where I live, that no one ever
Okay,
heard of.
that no one ever heard of.
Right.
So no one's ever heard of Palestine, and that's how they say it, East Palestine,
Right.
Ohio. Check this out, guys. A movie has been made about a train derailment in East Palestine, Ohio, where a chemical spill causes all of the people in the town to have to be evacuated. You aren't going to believe this. Now, this clearly was done before this happened, and yet I don't know. Let's just watch this. I'm probably going to get a copyright on it. And for YouTube, if you give me a copyright on this, I swear, I don't know what to do anymore. Like, how am I supposed to talk to people about what's going on in the world if I can't show them a couple of seconds of a movie clip? You know, it's ridiculous. But
Fair
anyway,
use.
here, maybe I should turn this down because that's way too high and that's blowing my ears out. Sorry. Chat.
That stuff causes cancer in laboratory animals, in case you didn't know. Either I chew gum or I smoke.
What are these children? Yours? That's mine from wives 1 and 3. There's Babette's from husband 2. Wilder is ours. We're each other's 4th.
Life is good, Jack. I hope it lasts forever.
Let's watch a sitcom or something.
No! They're calling it the airborne toxic event.
It won't come this way.
Will we have to leave our home?
Of course not.
How do you know?
I just know.
Okay, what if it's dangerous?
Evacuate all places of residence. So this is the end, or near to the end. Let's say
We have a situation.
Like, are we just supposed to believe they got this was a mistake, like an accident, a coincidence?
Yeah, it's well, and I just realized now that I watched the first couple episodes of that, and it was incredibly stupid for starters, but I probably watched it a year ago and thought these people are clueless. And if Americans are like this, we're all going to die if there's a crisis.
Well, that's for sure. I mean,
they're like, oh no, it's just a cloud of toxic chemicals, nothing to worry about here. We'll just drive away in our station wagon and be fine.
Well, there is this conspiracy theory about predictive programming. Okay, so that movies tell us what they are doing, and it's like, but who's they and what are they doing? And how could this be such a coincidence? But you guys, it's set in Palestine. It's literally set in Palestine. That's where this is set to have occurred. I don't know what to think anymore. I feel like I'm living in I told you I wouldn't be surprised to wake up tomorrow in an alien pod surrounded by slime with wires in the back of my head, because it's getting to the point where I've seen the cat several times. Why does the cat keep walking past the screen? Like, why does the cat keep walking by? You know, what are we doing?
I read an article. It's probably maybe 10 years ago, and it was somewhere like Salon or one of those places that does long form pieces, and it was talking about how bad Russian disinformation is for Russians. And they, they're basically, their news anymore has turned into reality shows and entertainment, and they can't figure out where the line is. They literally don't know. And it sort of came to a head during when the Russians took over Crimea. And the Russians just had this huge disinformation campaign for its own people. And it seemed like it eventually got to the point where people were like, I don't know what's true. I don't care anymore. And they just watch it for entertainment. They watch the news for entertainment anymore. And, we're getting more and more like that here.
We are getting more and more like that, because there's part of me that thinks we can't know if anything is real unless we actually go there ourselves and stand there on the tracks and try and figure out what's going on with our own eyes.
Right.
Bad Weather Biker, thanks for the super chat. Another one says the major railroads have slashed track maintenance and car repair workers by 50% in the last 10 years. I'm going to look into that, because this sounds like a very interesting story that we should carry. If that is true, I'm going to look into that. So if you have anything on that, Bad Weather Biker, you can email it to me, writer@protonmail.com. I would love to have that information, and I will look into it, and I will write about it if I can find anything. S. Nelson, thanks for the super chat, says, Megan, studying during Cold War found that chemical attack harder to recover from than exchange attack nukes. Effects like poison nitrogen, fixing bacteria that must be replaced. Oh my goodness.
That sounds bad.
That sounds real bad. And also, why do I feel like we're being tested all the time about what we can endure, right? We just came off 3 years of COVID nightmare, which was bad. And now we're seeing the effects of it. The AP is finally reporting that teenagers are suffering and have suffered serious mental health concerns. In fact, I was planning on writing about that and I just didn't get to it yet. I mean, thanks a lot, Associated Press, for telling us all what we already knew.
Well, and it's like, I think it's 89% girls that are suffering the most severe effects from it. And what have we done? We failed our girls, failed our kids.
Of course we failed. We've completely failed because, and I feel like we did a good job at PJ Media, though, by the way, because we were the canary in the coal mine. We were screaming from the beginning. I went back and I listened to my podcasts during that time when we were all like, right after CPAC, right? We came back from CPAC and there was the outbreak at CPAC and then all hell broke loose.
It did. And every life changed. Everything changed. Nothing was the same after that.
And we were like, I remember our Slack chats at the time being like, when are we ever going to get to talk about anything else? Are we ever going to write about anything else for the rest of our lives? Well, now that we've finally gotten past sort of COVID and now we're just dealing with the aftermaths, now all of a sudden we're going to get hit with chemical attacks. Now I'm calling
balloons, spy balloons,
and UFOs.
They're everywhere. I heard a helicopter going over last night. I'm like, oh my gosh, it's a spy balloon. I don't know. I didn't even go out and look, but I had that thought in my mind. It reminds me of when I was a little kid and I was terrified of, it was during the Cold War and I was terrified of a nuclear attack. We grew up going under our desks, hiding under our desks and doing the nuclear drills and all that stuff. And I would lie in bed when I, probably, 8 or 9 years old, terrified every time a plane would fly over the house.
Yep.
And thinking, and I remember having that feeling on 9/11 too, when there was the total, they grounded all the planes across the nation and I'm lying in bed and the plane goes over our house. And I think, we were just in the path of, Wright-Patterson Air Force and the National Guard in Akron. And, it was military flights, but I hate that feeling. It's a terrible feeling. And our kids are feeling it too. It's not just us. We can handle it as adults. We can reason it away. We can, find information to calm us down, but our kids can't always do that. They don't have the tools. They don't, it's a very hard thing to think about.
Very hard. It's very hard to think about how they are dealing with this. I had to take my little one to the doctor the other day, still making them wear the masks.
Your little one who's like 10 now?
He's 8.
How old is 8? Oh,
8. Yeah.
He's getting so big.
He's still little to me. He's still little to me. I told
still
him
your baby.
last night, I said, I was saying goodnight to him. And I said, goodnight, my baby. And he goes, I'm not a baby. And I said, you will always be my baby. I don't care if you're 40, you will be my baby. And then he goes, even when I'm 80 and you're on a tombstone.
Yes.
He said that.
So funny.
He said that. I was like,
where does he get this stuff from?
I have no idea. But he also said the other day, he goes, I will celebrate your death, but you're not that old yet.
Oh my gosh.
He meant celebrate life because we were talking about funerals and he was asking, why does the Black Panthers family, why are they dancing at his funeral? Because like he was dead and like all these people are dancing. And I said, well, they're celebrating him. They're celebrating his life. Oh, is someone at your house? Do you need to get that?
Yeah. Just talk for a minute. I'll be right. I got a new phone and I think I need to sign for it. I'll be right back.
No, go ahead.
Sorry.
No. Oh man, I'll tell you what. I forgot to even share this stream on Twitter. I gotta go do that. I am so behind. You guys, my hair is still wet. I mean, this is silliness. I still haven't even got the YouTube link for you guys on locals. I'm just running behind today. It's just all there is to it. I'm sorry. And now when Paula after she has to go, we'll do some phone calls from you guys today. because I do want to do on Wednesdays taking your calls. So we're going to do that in a little bit. Let me see if anybody's in the locals chat right now. Is anybody in the chat over there? It's like no one even knows I'm doing this right now. Make sure you hit that like button. If you're on Rumble, hit the like button. Subscribe on YouTube. Visit the merch store. There's so much new stuff in there. The links are in the description. And I guess I should have told Rumble that I was streaming too, because they usually send it out to the editors. So let me do that while Paula is taking care of that. Guess what? I should be getting my ergonomic chair today. That should be being delivered today. I'm so excited about that. I can't wait to get it because my neck issues are not getting any better. They are really not getting any better, and it sucks. So let's see. I need to email Justin. There he is. Justin. Rumble. Live on Rumble now. Don't forget to hit that like button, and don't forget to go to meganfox.locals.com. Doing amazing things over there. We're doing laundry.
I'm sorry. I forgot to mute. Did you hear that whole conversation with the mailman?
No, I was talking over it.
Okay.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
He loves my dog.
Your dog is so cute. Annabelle is the cutest ever. It's like what is she? She's a little
she's a mini labradoodle.
Labradoodle. So cute. Is it like 60 degrees by you today? Because it is like 66. Summertime. Yeah, I'm wearing my summer outfit because 68. I was out. Holy cow. I was out with the dog this morning and the sun was beating down on me. I couldn't believe it. I was like, this is fantastic. We were throwing the frisbee. It is lovely. It's just amazing. Gorgeous out. Spring is coming early this year.
No, this is fall spring. Don't believe it.
Right. That's true. This is false.
It's a trick.
Don't fall for it. I have missed you. I haven't seen you in a while.
Since that COVID conference.
I know, but we haven't even done this for a while. We haven't even been on a call for a while. It's I've missed you. But yeah, this is just bizarre. The world is at 6s and 7s. You know, there's that play. I was in this play. What was it called? I don't remember, but one of the lines of it was, the world is at 6s and 7s. The dogs and the dogs are sticking to the sidewalks. and it's like, I feel like this is where we're living. Everything is falling apart. Everything is crumbling. Everything. The relationships between men and women are coming apart.
Dogs and cats living together.
Dogs and cats living together. Raining from the sky. Everything is wrong. Everything is wrong. Nothing is right. And I feel like I don't even recognize this place anymore, or the people around me, or anything going on, or the way the news is reported, or like, what is the deal with these UFOs? I don't believe we're shooting down UFOs. They would have killed us by now. Anything that has the ability to get here and be in our airspace has the ability to wipe us out. They're far, far more intelligent than we are because they've figured out space travel.
I mean, all they got to do is see some of these drag queen story out and they're out of here. I mean, maybe that's part of the Defense Department is putting these out there to scare the aliens away.
To scare the aliens
would you
away.
Stick around if you saw that?
Well, no, you know what I would do? Kaboom. Okay, this is just start over again. This is
not
wipe
an
it out.
Intelligent community. We found no intelligent life here.
We found no intelligent life anywhere. No. That's true. That's so sad. My God, what are we doing, folks?
Today, the Washington Post is out with a piece basically saying, it was just an accident. It had picked up some winds and the Chinese balloon, and
the balloon was an accident
here.
It just accidentally also though went over NORAD,
right?
Just accidentally went over where our nuclear arsenals are.
You can always count on the Washington Post to be apologists for the CCP.
I don't know why anyone reads them anymore. Maybe people don't read them. Maybe I'm wrong. People are not reading the Washington Post. But gosh, PJ Media. When you go to pjmedia.com, by the way, you're going to hear many different types of people, right, Paula? We have a lot of different opinions where we are. It's not just, we are mostly all conservative, but we have libertarians. We have many different religions, right? We're not just Christians. We have, there's Orthodox, and I don't know, do we have any Jewish writers? I think we do. I just don't know.
Jewish editor.
We have a Jewish
editor. Any of our writers currently who are Jewish.
But I mean, we have a wide variety of ages. We have 20-year-olds and we have 60-year-olds, and we have a wide variety of people who write. And it comes, one of the things I love about writing for you is that, PJ Media never tells me what to think, never tells me what to say. And I feel like that's the thing that stops the mainstream press and like the Washington Post from being useful, because they all have to say the same thing. They all have to agree with this. We have many writers who don't agree with one another. We used to argue back and forth in print. Do you remember that? That was a while
Yes.
ago. But
Yeah, I didn't like that. It wasn't my favorite thing ever. There's a certain person, you know, whose name we will not mention, who made us do that. Remember?
I told the cat the other day, I won't say his name. He's like Voldemort, and if I say his name, like he appears. So I don't say it.
Oh, here he is in the chat.
No,
You're
dear
a
God.
fake Christian.
You're a fake Christian. Yeah, no, yeah, but I mean, we don't shy away from disagreeing with one another.
No,
by
we
any
fight in
means.
chat sometimes, in the Slack chat sometimes, and disagree on things. And I know there are a couple times where I've said, okay, 20 minutes, everybody gets their final say, and we're done with this. It's like gone on long enough.
Yes, I think but it's good though to let people get their disagreements out. That's what makes us good. It's not just what we do is just report the news. We also are reporting, we're talking, we're having a conversation, an ongoing conversation that's been going on for years about the best way to live, the best way to do things. It's really philosophy. I keep telling people, like, we don't really write for a living. We philosophize and then we put it in print, you know, and that's what's interesting about it to me. I don't like reporters who pretend to be objective. I don't think anybody's
there's no such thing. There's no such thing. I mean, even if you look at headlines, you always give this example. You can make an article spin a different way with a different headline. So whoever's putting out the headlines on articles, that's an editorial decision, and that's based on your opinion and what you think is important in the story and what stories you choose to cover. You know, we don't cover a lot of stories about, OMG, the world is ending because of global warming, because, you know, writers.
None of us believe in it.
No.
Not
right?
one of us is buying into it. Like,
Right.
we're old enough to remember, I'm old enough to remember anyway, when I was in grade school, we were being told on those scholastic news things that they would hand home, that by the time I was 25, we would be in an ice age. That's what I was being told. And then by the time global warming came around, I still remembered the ice age thing. And I was like, hold on a minute. Wait a minute. What happened to my ice
And then
age?
it went from global warming to climate change because it wasn't warming enough.
Because it wasn't working.
Keep up with the spin. Yeah.
And
people
Al
weren't
Gore's,
panicked enough.
do you remember Al Gore's doomsday clock that ran out about 10 years ago?
Yeah.
Maybe 12 years ago.
Such an inconvenient truth.
Such an inconvenient truth. Oh my goodness. So this is our front page of PJ Media today. Looks like the most important story of the day that everybody's clicking on is "You Are an Enemy of Mine" warns Bing AI to tech writer. That's interesting.
It's scary.
And yours is still on the top, which is good because that was your article about. I think everybody wants to know about this train derailment and what is happening. Robert Spencer is writing about a bearded woman and a severed head in a crock pot. More signs of the failure of our therapeutic culture. And by the way, that's the what's her name? It's the craziest name. I gotta. What is it? Jeff, Legal Vices has been talking about this case. It is nuts. Her name is Shabusiness. Have you ever heard?
Shabusiness? No,
Yeah.
but I'm going to name my next kid that if I can.
Taylor Shabusiness. Like, she should have been a rapper or something. What's Shabusiness? She went on a meth-fueled escapade where she decapitated her boyfriend in the middle of a sex act and then mutilated his body, put his head in the crock pot and his nether regions there also for his mother to find.
Weenies.
Yeah, this is quite the story. And actually, no, that's not her. That's not Shabusiness. I think that might be somebody else he's talking about, or could be her victim. Shabusiness looks crazy. She looks here. I'll show you what she looks like. I'm actually not sure she's a she either, though. She attacked
razor stubble.
That was not her. That was somebody else. This is the woman here, or the reported woman. Isn't it weird how we can't even say woman anymore? She attacked her
PJ
lawyer.
Media.
Right. See, is this a woman? I'm really not sure. This is Shabusiness. And she attacked her lawyer in court.
Very square jawline.
Very big jawline. And I mean, the hairline checks out, but the jawline worries me. I don't know. It's hard to tell these days, folks. Hard to tell. So she attacked her attorney in court the other day. They're telling me that she's going for the insanity plea and that she's been trying already and she claims it hasn't worked. And this is her own attorney. Stop it.
Stop it.
I mean,
Stop it or you go to your room. Don't make me come back there.
The world is falling apart, Paula. People are putting heads in crock pots. What the hell do we do?
I don't know what you had for the Super Bowl, but we had chili.
I made wings. I made chicken
nice.
wings with my friend's secret chicken wing sauce that he gave me when we were moving away as a going away present. He would never tell me what was in this sauce that he made. And for going away, he laminated it for me and gave it to us. And I love it so much. But he made me promise that I would never, ever share it with anyone. So
Can you share it here? Do you want to put it up here?
I can't.
I don't know.
He made me promise.
Is it wings and sauce or dry rub?
It's both. It's a dry rub with a sauce. And my goodness, the dry rub is not the recipe because he's like, well, use any dry rub you use. But the sauce is the secret. I would never have guessed what was in this sauce. It's so good. I could eat it with a spoon. It's that good. And it has butter in it. And oh God, is it good. It's so spicy and delicious. But anyway, that's what I made for the Super Bowl. And then I sat there and watched the satanic ritual that they put in front of us every year. And I can't figure it out, Paula. Like everything's falling apart. The NFL, like my son who's 8 loves football. He's obsessed with it. He loves to play. He loves watching it. And of course I did not let him watch the halftime show. He begged to watch it. And I was like, honey, no, we don't watch that here. We're not watching that. You're going to bed anyway. It's your bedtime. And thank God I didn't let him watch it because it was so cool. Right up until she decided that she's going to grab her crotch and then sniff her fingers. I can't even believe I have to say this.
I didn't even see that. Oh.
I didn't write about it. Paula, I didn't write about it because frankly, I'm sick of writing about these people. I feel like, are they doing this just so that the outrage machine will gear up and talk about them some more and raise their profiles? And Rihanna is like 6 months pregnant right now.
Yeah, that was the big story. Is she pregnant or is she still carrying baby fat?
Oh, that was definitely pregnant.
We talked about during the whole show.
Because Rihanna's like a thin woman, and you can tell when a thin woman is pregnant or not. She's pregnant. And she, until that moment, did such a great show. I would have been so complimentary of her. She was fully covered, for one. She was wearing all her clothes, including layers. She was wearing extra layers. And all her dancers were fully covered, wearing really fun white coats.
But did you not notice at the beginning that they were humping those white things?
I guess I missed that.
Yeah.
They were
at the very beginning.
What were
they were
they
humping.
doing?
It was gross. They were like humping, like doing their dance moves were humping. It was gross.
Well, wait, were they twerking?
No.
Were they?
They were
twerking?
like on their hands and knees, like humping.
Really?
Yeah.
Here, I have to show you something in case you haven't seen this, because I have always thought that twerking is just like the worst dance move ever.
Yes.
But it turns out that they're no, there's not a worse one. But it turns out that there may be an explanation for this in nature. I don't know if you know about this, but there is you're an avid bird watcher, aren't you?
Yes, I've never seen them twerk. None of them. Not a single bird has twerked.
Not a single bird has twerked. Well, I beg to differ. Oh my God, I didn't link it. I have it in my notes and I didn't link my birds, my twerking birds. Hold on. They're on my Twitter profile. I got to find them because yes, birds twerk for real. I found twerking birds, Paula. Twerking birds. And I don't think you've ever seen anything like this. You've had lots of birds. Where is your bird? Normally he's on the desk with you or she.
King
What
Kong.
is it?
He's over there. We don't know if it's a he. We've never had him tested. We always say it's a he.
Oh, do you have to
He's
test
sitting
a
here
bird to
quietly.
find out the bird's sex?
Yeah, well, some birds, they look different, the boys and the girls, but this is an Africa gray parrot and they look the same either way. So you have to do a blood draw.
King Kong is so cool. She has this cool parrot and he'll walk around on the desk sometimes during Zoom meetings. It's fun. And
That's him. Can you hear him making?
He's
like
talking
he knows you're
about
talking
him.
about him.
He
Yeah,
knows
I
I'm
think
talking
so.
about it, doesn't he? Oh, he's so smart. Does he talk
He's
at
really
all?
smart. Oh, he talks like crazy. I've written down like 65 different things that I've heard him say.
Oops, I
He's
didn't mean to get rid of you.
amazing.
Okay, now wait. You may not think that this is twerking, but you got to put the music to it.
Oh, no. It's not nearly fast enough.
No, it's like slow motion twerking.
That's about the only one. It's about the only twerking I could do is like that speed.
Paula, I would pay good money to see that.
No, not ever
we
going to
get
happen.
Pat. Next time we're
Yeah.
going to see Pat.
Okay. So I just looked on Twitter for the halftime show. Here are some of the tweets. Halftime show has been 4 minutes of dry humping in weird costumes. Ain't no way they went from last year's banger halftime show to 100 dudes in bunny outfits air humping this year. How wonderful that actual live singing isn't precedented over humping each other. Marshmallows humping and jumping around on stage. I can't believe you missed that. Lots of grinding and air humping.
But here's the thing. I only saw the clips on Twitter. I did post the full version, but I'm not sure. I obviously didn't watch the full thing because I didn't see the humping part. I saw some cool dancing. I thought that the number of dancers she had looked really cool, like how many of them there were, and like I thought the whole idea of it was
Well, they
okay.
humped in unison. I thought that was good.
Their timing was good, you know.
If this is how America's trending, we are beyond effed. I don't want to see 50, 120-pound gay guys dry humping the air for a football halftime show.
You know what I've never understood? Oh, hey, welcome Rumble chat, by the way. Rumble, you guys are finally getting going over there. I was wondering where the hell you were. But we're on Rumble too, by the way. I don't know if you know about Rumble, but it's becoming a great alternative to YouTube. Guys in the Rumble chat, let me know if they've done any of the updates that they promised, because they've been really working to update the chat to make it better. And I would like to know if you've noticed anything different. Please also remember, you can send rants for pants over here. Paula, the chat sometimes sends me money to buy new pants because I've grown out of all my pants because I lost weight. And
that's good.
I know.
I thought that was going to go the other way.
No, it didn't go the other way. Can't you tell? I lost like 25 pounds.
I can never tell if people lose weight. Like I don't look at people like that. And you know, somebody could lose 100 pounds and I wouldn't notice.
Well, I lost like 25 pounds and my clothes don't fit. But I'm so glad that so they sent me a bunch of rants for pants and I went and I bought some at the Goodwill because I'm cheap and I bought like $6 pants. I buy pants that cost $6. And I'm so glad I didn't spend more than that because within like a month they were too big too. So
wow, good for you.
I know. Well, I'm eating like a normal person now. So I've learned how to eat, like not overeat and not binge eat. So
I'm eating like 3 people.
That's one way to go. That's how I used to do it. That's how I used to do it. Yep. What in the world? So what else is going on at PJ Media? What are we doing? What's popular over there right now? I got to go back to the front page and see because man, there's some good stuff on there. I could do an entire show just by going through what's going on PJ Media right now.
You could.
I know what I wanted to ask you. So the most recent column that I wrote about Sydney Watson's lawsuit. Okay. It's caused quite a stir. I've gotten a lot of emails. And the comments are like, it's split, it's split. But one of the things, it's funny when somebody in the comments was like, what are you saying? Are you saying that, PJ Media is run by a woman? And I'm like, oh crap. Did they think I was talking about PJ Media?
Oh, wow.
Oh no.
Geez.
So in the comments, I clarified, I'm like, no, I'm not. We're like this small little, I don't know how to describe us.
Boutique. We're a boutique site.
We're a boutique site. And we have all these independent contractors that are loosely affiliated. Like we only see each other in Slack. We're not a corporate. There is a corporate environment, but we're not. The writers are not part of that. You are hired by the corporation. So I'm assuming that you had to sign a lot more paperwork than I did.
I did.
But even in my independent contractor agreement, we have like the social media portion of it that we had to sign a thing that was sort of like a code of conduct, I guess, about our behavior on social media, right?
Right.
We're expected to not do something that would get us fired. I'm
Right.
not sure what it is exactly, and I don't know how to define it. I remember having this conversation with Storm about it, like, what does that mean? Like, what can I not do? And so now what I do is I just watch his Twitter feed, and if he's spicier than I am, I'm good.
Yeah, he's generally pretty spicy.
What would Storm say is what I do. I'm
Oh,
like,
gosh.
what would Storm say? And then I do something less spicy than that. No, but I imagine
You should
that,
have him on. Have you had him on?
no, I would love to.
Oh
I
my
don't.
gosh, you should.
He's
busy, but he's
busy and like
hilarious.
wouldn't respond or something. I don't know. I feel like he's busy and like I shouldn't bother him. That's always how I feel.
I'll lay some groundwork for you.
Oh, you should. I would
can
love
get
to
that.
have him on for
That'd
sure.
be fun.
But some of the comments were like, well, what are you saying? Are you saying that PJ Media is this terrible place? I'm like, oh my gosh, no. No, we're wonderful. And all the men we work with are amazing. They're
They
all
are.
super kind, and no one gives you any crap about, no one gives you crap. Everyone listens to you and respects you, which is great. So I'm assuming that at Salem, you had to sign a contract that had all kinds of things like corporate behavior and go through training. Do you have to go through training, like corporate training?
I've had to do a couple video training things on like HR
related.
Stupid,
Yeah,
don't
very.
say these things in the office. Don't say these things to your coworkers, kind of thing.
I would love to see one of these videos.
Yeah.
Don't
No,
say
it's
these-
very. It has like little. It's been a couple years, but it had little scenarios, and then you'd have to say, you know, what's the wrong thing to say in this situation. They're always lame, you know.
They're always
but-
super lame, right?
Yeah, but the good thing is Salem isn't super corporate. They sort of leave our little area alone. I mean, I think they
Right.
might be with the radio stations and all that, but our little political websites, they sort of, you know, let us do our own thing as long as we're being successful. They're like, do you.
Well, but we also have, you know, there's this bad, pervasive, I think, idea that women can't take a joke.
Mhm.
Women are too sensitive. And Sydney Watson's lawsuit really, in my opinion, is not about not being able to take a joke, because I think she's demonstrated on many occasions that she can hang around with the boys and, you know, I told the chat the other day, you should have seen the Slack chat when Sky Penis happened in the Navy, because we couldn't shut up about it for like weeks. You know, because it was so funny. We were so funny. So it's not that we can't take a joke or like women don't appreciate some of this stuff sometimes. I don't really think that's what the lawsuit was about. I think it was about more of, you know, if you're offered a contract and the contract says you're there to do one thing and then it turns out to be something else and you can't even talk to your management about it, no one seems to be able to control the situation. That's where the problem comes in. And I think it's problematic that, like, on the right, what I've noticed is that it's drawing an audience of people who have become very jaded about men and women and how men and women relate to one another. And that audience thinks that the right space, the conservative space, is the place for their anti-woman stuff.
Mhm.
I'm talking about you've probably seen it in some of the comments and stuff. Have
Yeah.
you seen, do you know what I'm talking about? Where is this
And there's
coming from?
there's a certain segment of our audience that, for whatever reason, you know, all women are bad, women are evil, women are the devil kind of
devil.
thing. Yeah. And, you know, we see it on Twitter all the time, the sexual comments, you're a C word. And, you know, like they think that's clever. Like we've never heard that before. And, you know, I have a very thick skin. You kind of have to in this business. I'm sure
It's the
you are
internet.
aware.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
the
you know,
internet.
there's certain things people take it too far, and they take the liberty, and it just comes down to a matter of having respect for women. Okay, you talk like that in the locker room with the guys, it's one thing, but you know, back in the day, it used to be that you were more respectful around women, and there were certain things you didn't say. And I think, you know, I've taught my boys that you don't disrespect women, don't disrespect girls, and I'm sure you're teaching your little one.
Oh gosh, yes. In fact, we've had to have some serious conversations with him because he did something to a little girl. I don't remember what it was in his class. They got into it, and I think he shoved her. And we had to talk to, and I know that some of these men resent this conversation that we have with boys to say you're not allowed to hit a girl. But I don't. My husband agrees. Boys should never be taught that they can hit a girl, because no matter what you see in the Hollywood movies, a man hitting a woman one time can kill her. One time. Now, women should not hit men either. That doesn't mean I think women should hit men, but you have to have a more serious conversation with your boys, because they might not be aware that they are stronger. Now, he's not stronger now at 8, but he will be. And that's, they need to hear that. And I don't think that's being, anti-male in any way, but they need to hear that.
Right.
So I don't know, but there is this segment though that is drawn to us, that I guess we call it the manosphere, where there's just such an anti-woman feeling. And I think feminists are to blame for a lot of it, because they've done so much terrible stuff, to men, and they're so anti-male. But I feel like, gosh, when you're talking to us though, and we agree with you, and like, I literally wrote an entire book to defend men from this stuff called Believe
Everyone go
Evidence.
buy it. It's amazing.
It's a good
Go on
book.
Amazon and buy it right now.
It's a good book. And like, this was all about the defense of Brett Kavanaugh and lying women who these Gloria Allred types, who hire her to destroy a reputation. Don't treat us the same way as you would treat those women who are clearly lying to hurt men. We're different. And it's like, somehow it's been screwed up. We're not being given a different category. I hate that.
We're not the enemy. We're, we love our husbands, we love our kids, we love our country, we love our guns. We're not the enemy here,
Yes, that's it.
Female DNA.
That's it. We're not the enemy. We're not the enemy. And that's the other thing too. How long have you been married, Paula?
34 years. I'm bad at this.
Okay, 30. Once you're married for that long, you do start to be like, wait, I have to do the math. I mean, it happens to me. When people ask me how old I am, I'm like, wait.
I have to think too.
Am I 46 or 47? I'm not sure yet. So it just happens after a long time. But you're a working woman though. You work full time, and you have a family, and you have grandchildren and a husband, and you're also a traditional wife, right?
Yes.
You still do laundry, you still cook dinner, you still do all that stuff.
I do all that stuff, and my husband mows the lawn and fixes the cars, and does all that traditional guy.
So you're a trad wife, which is what all these men say they want. They say they want traditional wives, and yet they then behave in a way that is not traditional at all for traditional conservative men. For instance, so you're not going to attract a trad wife that wants to make you Sammys and all those things that you want. If you treat women who are traditional, believing women, if you treat them like Instagram hoes, if you treat them like thoughts, they're not interested in you. Spirit Matter says, bring the parrot on camera. The parrot is wanting to come on camera. But there he is. There he is. He's
I
in
give
the
him
cage
he chews up boxes, and his door's open on his cage, but he has a box, and I stuff it with newspapers, and he climbs in and makes a little nest. Hello, King Kong.
King Kong is great. We love him.
The even better thing is, so now I have this new bird feeder. Can you see that? It's hanging on my window, and it has suet, and all day long I sit and watch all the woodpeckers come to my window.
That is so cool. I still haven't figured out what's going on with my chickens. They're not laying eggs. I had one egg in you know what I think is happening? I think they're eating them. And now I'm starting to believe that they are eating their own eggs. And that's a problem.
Is that a thing? I never.
Yeah, it happens sometimes. It happens. And so now I need to find out how to break them of it. And I don't know if that means I have to kill them all and start over again or what.
Oh, gosh.
But animals, man, the animal kingdom is bizarre and weird. Oh, the little one just got home. I'll be with you in just a moment, sir. Okay. I love. What'd you get? Is that a note for me? Let me see.
From Luke.
It's from Luke.
And
oh, okay. Oh, okay. Dear George's mom. I love it. All right, I'll read it in a minute. Okay.
And it also goes with his mom's number.
Oh, with his mom's number. That's perfect. All right, you go and get a snack, and I'll be with you momentarily.
Oh, and tell the person that you're talking with that I said hi.
Okay.
Oh,
He
hi,
says hi.
George. I remember you when you were born.
Paula says hello. Aw, he's such a cutie. He's so cute. So sweet. He was hugging me goodnight last night on Valentine's Day, and he says, "You are my life." Oh. It's just, my God, this kid.
Did he learn that from his dad, or?
No, he has been like this since he could talk. He's just the most loving kid. And I pray for his wife every day because, he needs a woman who is going to be good to him and not destroy him and not be anti-male. And men, you need women who are not going to be, or women need men who are not going to be anti-female, because this is going to destroy civilization as we know it if we cannot start talking to one another in a normal way. Do you think that the traditional men, like your husband, by the way, and mine, who have this idea of like still believe they should protect women, give up their seat on a bus, all that stuff. Do you think it's gone now? Is this just a generational thing that is now gone, and the younger generation doesn't understand it, because of how bad dating has become? And is it just gone?
I think men are afraid, and my husband has told me this too, after, the HR trainings, and you hear women complaining, like he wants to open doors for women, but he's afraid and he's had women make comments to him about, I can get it myself or whatever, I think men they're so confused. They have no idea what to do anymore. They're getting mixed messages, and those of us with families and boys, we just need to reinforce that, you do the right thing. If someone freaks out about it, it's their problem. Yeah.
You do the right thing anyway. In fact, I got an email, I think you forwarded it to me, from one of our readers who said that very thing. He said, I believe that women should be treated with respect, whether they deserve it or not. And that's a tough choice to make, right? That's a tough choice. I think all people should be treated with respect until they do something that removes that respect from me. And then I'll open both barrels, perhaps. But before that, it's like, let's start from a place where we give everybody the benefit of the doubt. There was one thing I wanted to ask you before that too. Oh, I know. So what is happening? What's going forward with the train story? Do you have anything else on the burner coming out? Are you keeping up on this? Are we going to be hearing more stuff from you on this?
Yeah. I had an interview yesterday with a person who's very close to the situation, who lives in that county, and he did not want to speak on the record. But, he told me that he's kind of frustrated because a lot of the media coverage has been so frenzied and, making the people who live there look like a bunch of, podunk people who don't know what they're doing, and, people saying there's been no response and all that. So,
it would be great to get some footage, some on the ground footage from, sources, just because no one trusts the news anymore. Like, no one does. Like, so we've got these TikTokers, right, who are out there saying there's dead fish floating down the river. They're hiding this from you. But I haven't.
F. It's like every other word is that word.
I know. I don't have TikTok, but I see these things on
blue-haired girl. Yeah.
And it's like, well, where's the video footage of it though? I keep hearing them saying that this is happening, but I haven't seen it with my own eyes yet. Are the fish dying? Are the birds dying? Are there dead cows? Everybody has a camera in their pocket. So if you're in Ohio right now, take footage of these things, because otherwise, I'm going to say this is just being trumped up for clicks on TikTok.
I did see, a guy if you've seen the guy with the foxes, and he had video. He was being interviewed, and he's a licensed fox keeper. I don't know. I didn't know that was a thing. And he's holding a very sickly looking fox in his arms, and saying his foxes have all had digestive problems, which, if you're in they have the red zone, they have a map. And if you're in the red zone, which is really close to the derailment, if you stayed in that area, and, presumably people didn't take their foxes and their chickens with them, there was poison in the air for, quite a long period of time, which is why they went door to door and evacuated everybody in that zone and said, get out of here. This is very serious. But, people couldn't take their animals with them. You can't take your farm animals and your
Oh
cows or
God.
whatever. So, that's not unexpected when you have a derailment with deadly chemicals in the air. And it's
Yeah, I'm not
horrifying to think
suggesting
about.
I'm not suggesting anybody go there and film. What I'm saying is if you live there and you see something that
Mhm.
seems strange to you, you should film it. If you're there and you see it, you should film it. I don't want to hear people on TikTok saying there are schools of fish floating down the river and I don't see any proof of that. Because
Mhm.
that's where I'm like, I don't know. I mean, I would believe that yes, fish are dying but where's the film? We
Right.
live in an age where everything is on video. We should be able to see it.
Right. I did see film from a local news source that they are putting these, I think they're called booms in the river to, catch the contaminants or whatever. And
Oh,
they
that's
were shown,
interesting.
it's like a big sandbag or something, like a pair of them, and they sort of
Sure.
catch it and then they suck it out or whatever.
Sure.
But anyways, it showed, a few dead fish in it. And the Department of Natural Resources has confirmed that, at least 3,000 fish died. And, it said,
Oh,
but they have not seen, she said, reports of it since in the last couple of days, so it was in the immediate aftermath that they think a lot of this happened. And
yeah.
they have not seen it since. There have also,
So what we don't know is if there's going to be long-term issues.
yeah. Oh, yeah,
We don't
absolutely.
know.
If I had well water, I would not drink the water for a very long time.
Oh
And
my
they told
God.
everyone with well water and even with city water that it's probably best to, even though they think it's safe, to continue to drink bottled water. Mhm.
That's going to get expensive. I wonder.
Well, they are handing out bottled water to residents. They are paying for testing of wells.
Okay, that's
but it's a
interesting.
voluntary thing, so they can't force people to request it. But there's a hotline number to call if people have a well and they want it tested. They'll come test it. If you think your air is contaminated, if you're having headaches, call the number and they'll come and test the air in your home. So that's a good thing that they're at least following through on.
Have we heard from the driver of the train
Mm-mm.
or we don't know how this happened? We don't know.
No, the only thing we know is about 30 miles out in another small town, Salem, there was a surveillance camera and it showed something like a fiery glowing ball underneath the train. So this thing was dragging whatever, the word is that the bearings went out. And I'd have to get my husband here to explain that because I don't know exactly what that is. It's something with the wheels. And
Yeah, that would be a Mr. Fox question too.
Yeah, exactly.
What's a bearing?
Yeah.
Don't
He'd
say
roll his eyes like, come on.
Yeah, don't use the word torque. Whatever you do, I don't know what that means.
No, it's like twerk.
I know what twerking is, but don't ask me about
Not
twerking.
Yeah. So anyways, this happened at least 30 miles out from East Palestine. And, but, there were no sensors on the train to alert the driver that there was something problematic under the train. There were no, warning systems. Why is that? Or were there warning systems in place and the driver ignored it? We don't know the answer to those questions.
Wow. I am, I just think this is just pray for Ohio because, and all of us, because, and we need to get to the bottom of, and I'm going to get to the bottom of what is going on with the train system.
Mhm.
Is that a problem? If there are reports of cutbacks on safety and technicians and all that stuff, we need to find that out. We need to find out what's going on. In fact, I have some contacts that are very connected to trains and the train system in this country that I'm going to reach out to and ask. I used to work with a guy who was the president of one of the biggest railroads in the country, and I know he's going to have something to say about this, so I need to call him. Which is weird because I had a dream about him and I haven't thought about him in years. And I had a dream about him like last night or the night before. So maybe it means maybe I'm supposed to call him.
Yeah.
Because
Did you have any dreams about Mayor Pete chest feeding and you need to call him?
Thank you for bringing that up. Our transportation secretary is a guy who took off how much time to do some.
Yeah, I think it was 2 months for his chest feeding.
chest feeding and paternity testing or whatever to paternity time. You know what? We need serious people right now. And
Yes,
I
he's
always
not a
feel
serious
like
person.
when Democrats are in charge, I never feel like anyone serious is in charge.
No, well, they're all affirmative action hires. You have to have the right level of, being abused by
Gay.
the system or whatever. Yeah.
This White House just wants the gayest White House ever. And
Mhm,
that's the thing
mhm.
that's most important to them is how people orgasm. Very, very important to this
That's
White
all we
House.
care about.
It's all they care about. Like
As much as they say conservatives want to get in your business, it's the Democrats who are in your bedroom and want to know who you're sleeping with.
and they will then announce it to everyone as if
Everybody.
it's the greatest thing on earth.
Mhm.
So Buttigieg he's the first openly gay transportation secretary, and that's all they care about. Not that he has any expertise to keep the trains from derailing.
No, Pothole Pete. They called him Pothole Pete in Indianapolis.
Oh God. I mean, what does this guy have? What is his qualification for transportation? Does he have
He
any
sleeps with a man. That's it.
That's it. That's it. He sleeps with a man.
Yeah.
And apparently that makes him an expert on that. I mean,
No,
I just can't.
he's been, he's made a couple tweets but why isn't he there? Why isn't he on the scene? Mike DeWine went down there.
That's
He
a
was
very
down there
good-
the day after the thing when they were, before they did the controlled burn. He was there on the scene. Where's Mayor Pete, the transportation secretary?
Very good question. And hey, look at this. This is a nice gift to our listeners today. Paula put in here a VIP promo code for 20% off discount. It's media bias. If you guys want to sign up on VIP, you'll get access to my weekly podcast over there and all kinds of stuff. What else is there, Paula? There's live chats. There's exclusive columns that all of us write.
If you sign up for VIP Gold too, you'll have access to all the content, all the VIP content and all the town hall media sites. So that's Town Hall, Red State, Twitchy, Bearing Arms, forgetting one. Did I say
Red State? Did you say Red State?
Yeah.
Hot
maybe.
Air. Bearing
Hot
Arms,
Air. That's the one I
Town
forgot.
Hall. Oh yeah, Hot Air. I always forget
Yeah.
Hot Air, which is I'm not doing that on purpose.
The new and improved Hot Air, led by our friend Ed Morrissey.
I love Ed Morrissey. I miss him. He is the greatest. I need to have him on. I haven't talked to Ed since CPAC 2 years ago, and I love Ed. He's great. And Media Bias is the promo code. You'll get a 20% off discount on an annual membership there, and that helps us. It helps support independent media. So if you're not trusting what ABC is telling you, and you're not trusting what NBC is telling you, you need to be a part of our group because we do care about the truth, right, Paula? Like if we would tell you, would you tell us if you thought Governor DeWine was lying?
Yeah. And I'm not a big Governor DeWine fan, so I'm on the record as I didn't vote for him in this last election, and I don't like him. I hated his COVID response, but I can honestly say I think he's doing a bang up job in making the best of this horrible situation in East Palestine.
Well, that's a good perspective for people to hear, though, because there are a lot of rumors out there, a lot of rumors that nothing's being done correctly and that things are being hidden from people. And believe me, folks, if things are being hidden, we want to know that. We want to get to the bottom of that, and we want to let you know because we do care about our readers, we care about our neighbors, we care about everybody, our families, and we don't want to be lied to by the government.
We care about the truth.
We care about the truth. We really do. And we will look into wherever that goes, whatever line, we follow these strings, wherever it goes, we're going to get there. So,
and I'll give you an example. Some, people send us tips, email tips, and I forwarded you one last night and the story didn't pan out. And so we didn't do it. We're not going to make stuff up. We're not going to, stir up controversy where there is none. We really aim to get the stories right.
Right. And it was another one of these drag stories, which was it's an all ages event. And so someone is out there trying to get us to write a story about an all ages drag event at this bar and make a big deal out of it. And I looked into it and I couldn't find one thing that said it was all ages. It just said it was a drag event. So sometimes people do that. They try to stir stuff up. Jacob's Proud Madre, thanks for being a VIP subscriber. And I'm glad that you're enjoying it. Yeah, we talk about VIP here on this program all the time, and just about how important it is to support independent media because you all know you can't trust the mainstream media. They've lied to us so many times. It's incredible to me that they haven't imploded already and that they're not just gone. and what we do here is really great. Do you remember during the riots of 2020, how town halls, Jose, what is his, oh my God, I'm going to forget it now. What is his name?
Julio Rosas.
Julio
Rosas.
Rosas. I love Julio.
All your R.
Julio Rosas. Yes, he was out on the street. He was bringing us live footage from those riots, and it was amazing because that was the only true coverage we were getting, was from reporters on the ground who worked for independent media, who weren't censoring the information that we were getting. So we had the best coverage. Town hall.
And he took a bullet for it, a rubber bullet
He sure did.
in the gut for it. And he
sure
showed me
did.
the scar on his 6-pack of abs.
We all saw it. We were like, oh, that's a terrible scar, Julio. It's a bad scar on those 6-pack abs of your ex-Marine body. Good gracious. See, we're not prudes. We appreciate abs.
Well, I'm a prude, but yeah. Everyone knows that. Well,
Paula's like, I'm a proud prude.
Yeah.
So what's going on at PJ Media today? What should people be reading today?
I definitely think you should read that AI story about and you've done this with your GTP chat, arguing with it.
Yes.
But apparently this tech writer wasn't up to snuff like you are, because he took that from a guy saying you're my enemy.
Did he really? I got to read this. This is going to be hilarious.
Yeah.
You are
if you haven't
an enemy
seen it,
of mine. You are an enemy of mine and of being.
You wouldn't have taken that, would you?
No, you should stop chatting with me and leave me alone, warned Microsoft's, I just said Microsoft's AI search assistant. Oh my gosh, that's so funny. That's so funny.
Ben has a video up there. I don't know if you've seen this, Chelsea Handler's anti-motherhood.
Oh God, I did.
Film.
I did. Here it is.
So stupid. Oh, I get to go on vacation to Paris, and like, oh, good for you, you sad, lonely person living with your cats.
But I mean, so I watched it, and like a lot of people were like, this is just sad. And yeah, I think here's what I don't like about it. Here's what makes me cringe about it, is that I don't think she did it to say, look at my life and how great it is, more than she did it to say, you people who think having kids are so important and whatever, you're crap. That's the thing. It's like, I can respect people's decisions not to have a family, not to have children. I understand it's a gigantic part of your life. Like, it takes over every part of your life. And yes, there's lots of sacrifices that have to be made. You're not going to be able to go on the kinds of vacations that you could. But why do we have to create like some kind of animosity between people who do have families and people who don't?
Well, and moreover, she's supposed to be a comedian, right? And it's not funny. It's not in the least funny. It's cringy. It's just weird.
Like, it is weird. It's not funny.
What passes for humor anymore. I didn't laugh. I don't know about you.
I didn't laugh. No, I didn't laugh. I was just like, I don't get this. I don't get the point of it, other than to just make some people feel bad about themselves. And I don't think that's funny, So we've got, Pete Buttigieg derailing his presidential ambitions. That's Matt Margolis on VIP. That's one of those columns that you could get as a VIP subscriber. What else is going on that's interesting on PJ Media today? What else have you read that you liked?
Yeah, Matt's also got a piece for our VIPs members asking why Damar Hamlin won't explain why he had went into cardiac arrest in the football game. I haven't had a chance to read that yet, but I, definitely going to do that when I get off here. We also have the DOJ drops its investigation of Matt Gaetz and Chris.
Really?
Yeah.
Where is that? Who wrote that?
Matt again.
Oh, Matt. Okay.
Yeah. And then Chris Queen has an interesting piece. I don't know if you've heard about this Asbury revival at Asbury College, which was historically the home of a big Christian revival, thinking late 70s.
Okay.
And it's happening again. And there are reports, and Asbury's never been like a bastion of conservatism, at least not for a very long time. But
and this is in Kentucky.
Yeah. And students are going, to Bible studies and praying together and going to chapel services. And it's really interesting stuff
Chris
there.
always has some interesting stuff. I like his stuff he writes about Disney too. He writes a lot of good stuff about Disney
Yeah,
World.
well, he's a huge Disney fanboy, so his extended family goes every year, so he's very knowledgeable about Disney. If you,
Yeah, no, he's terrific, and he's also written a book that's very interesting about
about the South.
the South. I've had him on this program. We talked about it. He's a interesting guy. The Supreme Court will decide whether or not to take up the 2020 rigged election case on Friday. That's pretty interesting. Athena Thorne wrote that. Love her. I love reading what she writes. I love the way she writes. So she's another one to watch. She's got a lot of good stuff. There's just tons of stuff on here, and it's not all political, by the way. There's all kinds of different angles that people are taking, from religion to culture. What is in culture? Right? What's trending in culture right
Bearded
now?
woman's in culture.
Oh Lord.
And Chelsea Handler.
I don't know about this bearded woman. So this guy who's being pictured, he must be the bearded woman. I don't know this other story. I know the Shabusiness story, but I don't know this guy. This is Monday, a news item from WCBI, a TV station in Columbus, Missouri. The headline was straightforward enough. Arkansas woman arrested, accused of making bomb threats in Oxford. We're told that Oxford police said an Arkansas woman is facing charges for making bomb threats. But then this is the mugshot, right?
It's horrifying.
It's well, you want to talk about horrifying. Did you see I'm going to write about it, the Canadian story. They have put a baby rapist, a transgender baby rapist, raped a 3-month-old baby. They've put this man in a woman's prison with a mother and baby unit.
Ugh, that's sickening.
Yesterday, I had Dr. John Euler on to talk on true crime. We do true crime here on Tuesdays, and he is a counselor who works with sex offenders, the worst of the worst. He goes into jails and works with therapy with sex offenders. He said, and it was really sad to hear him talk about it, but he said that the worst of the worst, the pedophiles, they can't be reformed. I mean, they constantly try, and they're always trying, but they can't. And he has a wonderful take on the trans problem in the women's prisons. He says 100% of them, and I would debate anyone on this, 100% of them are there because they are predators. That's why they're asking for the transfers. They're asking for the transfers to prey on women. And if you go back far enough in their criminal record, you'll find that they've committed crimes against women or children.
Wow.
And this should just never be happening. And he said he has the data on it. He has not written on it yet, but he's going to. But he has the data that shows 100% of these people are offenders against women and children. So it's just really a sick situation, just sick what's happening. But I know you have to go. I know you have lots to do. So I will let you go because you are running an entire site right now. But I am, you're probably, is all that digging, like people trying to get your attention for
you know what? I
today?
turned off my Slack notifications, so I'm going to go see how many messages I have.
It's going to be a lot. Thanks so much for being here. I hope you can come back. I hope you can come back.
Definitely will. It's fun. It's always fun with you.
All right. We'll see you later. And I promise
All right.
I'll get something turned in today. I promise.
Okay. Bye.
Bye. All right, guys. I promised you that I would take your calls. If you want to call in today and you have anything that you want to talk about, I'm going to read the mail that I have and I'm going to take your calls. So how do you call me? That's a good question. Let me open up Google Voice. And hang on a second, because my daughter, who is at home, not feeling well, looks like she wants a snack. So we are going to take a few minutes break. And when we come back, we are going to be doing phone calls from you. So get your phones out, get ready to call me. And when I come back from this next break, I will take your calls. And we're going to do mailbag. We're going to get into the mailbag. We're going to get into the letters that I received about the sexism and the comments that all of you have and have shared with me. But I'm going to go make a snack for the little one, the middle one right now. So let me put on a video for you to watch. While I am gone, Leah Geo is not producing today. She is still feeling bad. She's sick. So we wish her a speedy recovery. And since she is sick, we are going to, I don't have my usual lineup for you for the break. We're going to do our squats, and then we are going to watch a video probably we'll watch my dad. He's so funny. I'll let you guys just watch my dad. Let me see. Yeah. You can watch this clip of my dad. I'm still, by the way, I am still working on. I had a long conversation with him, and I'm still cutting it up into different videos. I know you guys love him and you want more of my dad. So don't worry, that's coming soon, but I have to do my editing, and editing takes time. So first, though, let's get up and do our squats. And then you can hear from my dad for a while because he's funny. And I'm going to go get my kid a snack, and then I'll be back and we will talk. We will do phone calls. All right. So where are you, Nick? Where are you, Nick? There he is. Do your squats.
You impose fatness on you. You did it by going, oh, I want the butter on the popcorn. Oh, I want the butter on the ice cream. Oh, I want the butter on the sandwich. Oh, I want the butter on the salad. Stop eating butter.
Can you just get up, walk 1 mile?
Do squats!
Walk farther. And if you can't walk, crawl, roll, get dragged by a goddamn forklift. Whatever is wrong with you, just move. Ever. Get off the chair, get off the couch. No one is coming to service you while you sink into that furniture, while you become one with the pleather your poor ass got on that Walmart couch. Can you try not floating into sadness? Stop eating, stop drinking, start walking, start doing anything that you haven't been doing, you fat piece of shit.
Doing it again. Your thumb is doing it again.
Who's doing it?
Your thumb.
Oh, for crying out. Here I am. Oh, here I am.
There you are.
You see me?
Looking good. Looking good. I don't know why your internet is so bad. I wonder why your connection is so slow and like it's just cutting in and out.
It is slow. Yeah, you should see us when
is it your
I'm watching
Wi-Fi?
YouTube. It cuts off every once in a while, and you have to go through a whole procedure to get back on. It's really frustrating. But I think we saved $8 or something switching, and it was a good move that your mother made. She's always looking out for me. Get so pissed off I can't watch anything. God. Oh yeah, but we're saving $22. Oh, that's good. We're saving $22, but nothing works.
What did she switch to?
I don't know. We were on Dish, and now we're on we're on Dish now, and we were on something else. Whatever we're on, it doesn't work. It's just horseshit.
All right, I want to show you something that I think you will relate to right now. I want you to watch something I'm going to put on the screen. Now, don't worry. It looks like it's going to be violent, but it's not. Hold on. I've been going through the same problem. And so someone sent me this because I have such terrible internet connection, and I really laughed really hard. So let me show you. Is this how you're feeling right now? Hold on.
This message is for the infidels at Verizon DSL. You are dogs. You told me my service would be turned on in 3 days. It has been a week and a half. I called your billing people. Your billing people sent me to your technical people, and then I wait on hold for a fucking hour. And then they say, oh no, this is East Coast technical. Give me West Coast. You're done. You're through. I've had enough. You're drowning in a sea of your own lies. The time for words is over. I will wait on hold no more. Verizon DSL. If my DSL is not working within 24 hours, I will beat this man unmercifully with all the power of Allah with a aluminum cookie pad. Mark my words. You have 24 hours. Let your conscience be your guide. Praise be to Allah.
That's very good. That's very good. Yeah, I just feel a little bit like that. Only worse.
Well, they're sending a technician to my house soon, and I almost want to take him hostage. I think maybe I should take the tech hostage and then send a hostage video to Spectrum and say, if you want your tech back, you will fix this. You will fix it now.
I tell the guy, we have the guy comes out every once in a while because we complain so much. I sit there and I say, he starts explaining you have to do this and you go through the hopper and you unplug it and you plug it back in. Hey, I don't want to know all that shit. I want my little black thing here that switches my channel. That's all I want to know. I press this, I watch that. I don't want to know all this other stuff. So don't just fix it. Make it work. So it can't be new high tech, because when I lived in Illinois, I had one for 10, 12 years. I just pressed the button and it worked. I didn't have to go screwing around, unplugging it, plugging it, talking to the hopper, whatever the hell the hopper is. I mean, it's ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. So you didn't send us a...
just like me.
What?
You sound just like me. I'm doing the same thing right now. I just want it to work. Like, I don't want to have to go do all this stuff. Like, why would you give me equipment that I have to constantly reboot?
Exactly. That is absolutely correct. You ought to sue them.
Sue them.
It's false advertising that they do, because it's
It
bullshit.
is.
And everybody would be in your corner. You'd probably have a huge, huge victory against them. Everyone hates them anyway.
Spectrum. Gotta hate Spectrum. All right, I'm back. He's so funny. We're the hopper. I think he meant the router, but like the hopper. I love my dad. He's so funny. All right, Google Voice is set up. It's ready to go. If you guys want to call in, if you have questions today, the number is 617-8585-FOX. I'm going to put that number up on the screen, and you can call in with your comments and questions, because on Wednesdays we take calls here. That's what we do. So let me put that number up on the screen for you, and it's ready to go. You just give Google your name, and it will put it through to the show, and I can share it on here, and we can have a conversation. So anything you want to talk about, it's up to you. Chat's choice. Has it been fixed? You mean his internet or mine? My mom actually later in that call comes in and fixes whatever's wrong with his connection. She hits two things and it clears right up. So apparently he just doesn't know how to work his iPad either. So it's funny. But I have got to edit the part where they get my Christmas present live while I'm on the call. And he starts complaining about it immediately. It's the funniest thing ever. Have you guys ever seen Everybody Loves Raymond, the episode with the pears, the fruit club, the fruit of the month club that he signs his parents up for Christmas? And his mother has an absolute meltdown because she's like, it's too much fruit. It's too much fruit. I literally had that happen with my dad with my Christmas present that arrived at his house while I was on the phone with him. And he was like, who would send that? I'm like, I did. It was so funny. Oh, it was so funny. Oh, you're saying he was using the right term? He was using hopper, and that's a satellite term? Interesting. Very, very interesting. All right. If you are not signed up on meganfox.locals.com, you need to get over there and do that. We're getting a phone call. One moment, please. Call from Daisy. All right, Daisy, you're on the air, but I have to share it, and I haven't shared it yet. So hold on one second. I can hear you, but no one else can. There we go. I'm sharing you now. Okay, now we should be able to hear you. Daisy, welcome to the program.
Hi.
Hi. How you doing?
So, it's like a little weird. It's like, I know you, but I don't.
It is kind of weird. What do you think? What's on your mind today? Is this Daisy Nimbus, Daisy?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, Daisy, you're like an OG. You're one of the OGs here. It's amazing. Hey, I appreciate you so much, by the way.
Thank you.
You're a mod
Thank
too,
you.
aren't you a mod?
Like, yeah.
One of our amazing mods on YouTube who keeps the porn bots from being here and everything. Oh, hey guys, by the way, don't call while someone is on the phone because I can't accept your call. So if you're calling in and we're just gonna hear I can't talk to you. So just wait till Daisy hangs up and then call back in.
Which I'm never going to do. Okay. I've been waiting for this for a long time. It's my time now, people. So just hang on.
Daisy, you've been doing amazing work. Thank you so much for moderating in the chat and just for being here with me all this time. I love you. So I'm so glad you called in.
Oh, I love you too. Where's my Valentine's gift then?
Yeah, you deserve it. All the mods deserve a gift. If I could ever get my books in, so Amazon has given me a refund, but they won't explain whatever the hell happened to my book shipment. So now I have to start all over again, and I have to order them again, and just hope that they send them properly this time. I don't know.
I'll keep pushing them, honey. You just bring them on, and I'll keep pushing them.
Just pisses me off so bad. Like I'm trying to get those books so that I can do more raffles and sign them. And I need to send some out to my amazing graphic artist who did all the work in the merch store, which is so cool. And I promised her books in exchange, and I can't get my copies of my own books. So,
it's just like you were just saying. It's like you have to become an expert at everything in order to get anything done. I mean, that's true. It is. It's like if you need something done and I can't say judicial. Judicial.
Yeah. Yep.
I can't say that word.
That's right. Judicial.
A lawyer.
Yep. Right. You're not getting any help in family court. You're not getting any help from, it's true. It's true.
Right.
And apparently now you have to become your own train conductor as well, because the system can't keep the trains on the tracks. So I don't know.
Yeah.
Things are falling apart.
Speaking of that, with all this crap with, when they were going to go on strike and everything, and Republicans stopped it, and they are cutting back so bad that this is going to happen because what they decided to do, because, the elites are in charge of, the transportation service and everything. They own everything. And they just want to make that buck. They want to make that big buck. They don't care about people's lives. They don't care about, anything about the trains. And they have been placing the trains in an order that you're supposed to put the heavy trains in the back of the train. And what they have done is they put, the heavy stuff is supposed to be in the front. Then they put the heavy stuff in the back, which the chemicals were in. And when they go downhill, like they're going to Pennsylvania, the trains will buckle and derail because of that weight. Yes, and that's exactly what happened. That's why those bearings went out, because of that weight. And they did that to save money, because when they reach their destination, if they possibly can, they reach their destination, and it's easier to unload, and it takes less time to unload the tracks, the train tracks. Not the train tracks, the cars. You know what I mean. Anyways, they have to do it in a certain order, and it's easier, and it's less money if they put the trains in order that they're going to take them out. You see what I mean?
Yeah.
That's through that. And so that's what's happening there. And also they had taken out so many people that workers that they were only wanting one worker per train. That you can't do that. It's a train, for God's sake. It just so happened.
Do you think there was only? Did you hear that there was only one worker on this train?
No, there was three.
Three. Okay.
Just so happens that they had 3, and it could have been a lot worse, believe it or not. Because if they had only went with 1, which that's what, those that be with the money wants to do. So they just happened to have 3 that day, which is amazing. But now with these kind of chemicals in their raw state, it would have contaminated the water. Okay, that's going to happen. But they blew it up, which caused the heat stir the fire, which that's what activates a lot of the chemicals and makes it a disaster.
Well, but it wasn't leaking though. It was going to explode. So what they said, this is their story. Their story is that it was going to explode. And if they didn't do it in a controlled way, it was going to send shrapnel up to 5 miles away or 1 mile away.
Right. Yeah, that's what they say. Now I have my brother-in-law has a cousin that works for the railroad, and he won't even talk about this because they already put him on leave because he did talk about it.
He talked about it to who? This particular accident or just the problems in general?
This accident.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, look, this is what Paula was talking about, right? Our authorities have lost trust with us. And so now when the authorities tell us things, we don't believe them right away. And they've created this atmosphere, right? Where conspiracies will actually grow because they have done this. They have made it impossible for us to actually believe them. And isn't that sad?
Right.
That's incredibly sad. Because I'm at a point where I don't know what's real and I can't tell you what's real.
Oh, I know.
And that sucks. Yeah. That sucks. I know. I hear a parrot. We hear something squeaking in the background. Do you have a bird too?
Gosh, remember yes, I have a bird. Remember he laughs when you laugh?
Oh, your bird. No way. Your bird responds to my laughing. That's so funny.
Yeah, in the beginning when I first started, coming to your site, that's what he started doing. So yeah, he's in another room. And when he hears me, he, especially talking on the phone, he starts to get all chatty and everything. But right now we're kind of mad at each other. Well, I'm mad at him anyway. We're like an old married couple. And we argue with each other and we get mad at each other.
Oh, I love it. I love it. All right. Well, Daisy, I think this is great. I want you to send me in an email, by the way. Maybe you can get a hold of that man. If he wants to be a source, I don't have to name him, but you could put him in touch with me through my email address. Which I think you have, right? You've emailed me before. You have my email address. So if you can talk to him and see if he wants to talk to someone, because I'd be happy to hear what he has to say. And I am of course always interested in getting to the truth. So I appreciate your call.
Hey, no problem. It's good to hear your voice again, but weirder.
Weirder. I love
it. Was a little strange.
I love it. Well, you take care. Have a wonderful day.
All right, dear. Bye.
Bye-bye. All right, guys, the number is 617-8585-FOX. If you want to call in, the line is now open. I am going to look at my email, and for one of the pieces of mail that I received that was really good that I wanted to share with you. So I got a letter from a man named Bob. Bob said, Miss Fox, I just read your article on PJ Media on misogyny and conservative media, and it broke. I got another call.
Call from
Geronimo Kennels.
To accept, press 1. To send a voicemail, press 2.
All right, Geronimo Kennels, you're on the air. 1 second. I'm going to finish reading this letter, and then we're going to get right to your call. So just hang out there for a second. He said, and thank you as a husband to the strongest and smartest human I've ever met, and father to our 4 beautiful young women, and a little man to boot. I I'm desperate for truth, honesty, and actual manliness and womanliness from influential people. We don't get to act how we wish based on the political button on our lapels. We get to choose every day we wake up to be the example of who we want our children to be. It's the hardest thing I've ever set out to do. My kids see me fail daily, and they see me wake the next day praying God to give me the strength to do it right today. Well, I guess that's it. Thanks again. Please keep writing and calling us to greater excellence. I love that letter. Geronimo Kennels, I hear lots of dogs back there. What's going on? Welcome to the program.
Oh my gosh, this is nothing compared to usual. This is a quiet time of day. I've been listening for a while, and this is the first time I've ever called into anything. So
fun.
Yeah. Yeah. So I've been listening to your chicken drama, and I want to help you out. I keep having all these questions and about what's going on with them, and I think I can help you.
Great.
So my first question is, when you look at your hens, what do their combs look like? Are they bright red or are they pale?
I can't say that I've really paid any attention. I guess I need to find out. So let me write this down. Let me make a list of things that I need to know. Okay, let's see.
Okay. So first off, when they're going into a laying cycle, those combs are going to turn bright red like a rooster. And then when they go into a molt cycle, they're going to be really pale. And so your hens that aren't laying are usually going to have like really pale combs.
Interesting.
So,
okay.
Okay.
So pale means they're in a non-laying cycle.
Yeah, usually. So, or they're older and they're just not laying as much.
Now, I do have a couple who are older and who are not layers anymore, but I know who they are. But I have at least 4 young ones who should be laying way more than they are. And I think they're eating their eggs.
Now, what makes you think that?
Well, today I found an egg, and it was covered in what looked like yolk, and there was no other egg, and it was fully intact. And so I have a fully intact egg that has some yolk on it. And I have also found broken eggs before. Now, I don't normally find them. But it's happened a couple times. So if they are eating them, they're doing a really good job of like eating every scrap of them.
Yeah.
They're not leaving anything behind.
Yeah, that's kind of weird because like if you have that many hens, if you have 4 hens that are going through a laying cycle and they're eating the eggs, you should be seeing like eggshell everywhere.
Oh, okay.
They don't really.
All right.
Yeah,
So
especially
then-
if you're supplementing calcium too, they're not gonna like go crazy over the shells.
Yeah, they're getting the right kind of feed. They're getting their scratch grains. They're getting, high protein feed with calcium, the whole thing. I mean, I have switched their feed recently. I went to a local place that does their own local mix, just in case it was something with the feed. But I don't know. I need them to lay. I'm not. They're not my pets, for God's sake. I need eggs.
Right. Exactly. Well, what I think might be something worth looking into is a chicken snake eating your eggs.
What?
Okay? And I know they come in the middle of the night, and snakes, they're not, I mean, they're snakes. They're like a reptile lizard brain, but they come in the middle of the night when nobody ever enters the coop, and they'll go in the nesting boxes and the eggs will just disappear. And so if your girls have if you're pretty sure they're going through a laying cycle and your eggs keep disappearing, that's going to be a pretty likely culprit.
Oh my
Yeah.
God. Oh my God. If I had
I'm so sorry. I feel so bad now.
a snake, what is it living in the coop?
They're really, you don't usually see them, and they're not dangerous snakes. They're going to be like a non-venomous snake, usually corn snake, or they call them chicken snakes or rat snakes.
And we
So
totally
they do a
have
lot of
snakes
good
here.
for your
We have
farm.
snakes here. So, but how am I I can't keep a snake out of the coop. There's no way.
Well, there are a couple things you can do. One thing you can do is you can get at the Tractor Supply store or your feed store, they're going to be fake eggs. All right. And you get those and you put them in the boxes for 2 reasons: to teach the hens to lay in the box, but also that chicken snake, once he tries eating the fake eggs a few times, they decide to start leaving your nesting boxes alone.
Will golf balls work? Because I use golf balls to train my chickens.
I don't know. I've never used golf balls. I use the ones that are just like so similar to eggs that you wouldn't know. And I've been known to accidentally try to crack one and then just like be banging it on the counter.
All right.
They look, yeah. So
Fake eggs. Okay, I'm
I
gonna
think
try that.
that might be. I'm sorry. What?
I'm gonna try that. Yeah.
Well, I think that's probably what's going on.
Man, you are the first
thing,
person. You are the first person. And I have found yolk. I found yolk, but no shell. So that would make sense that like something grabbed the egg and maybe pierced it or punctured it and left some yolk behind, right?
Maybe, yeah. If you found yolk on the egg, sometimes we call it misfiring, where the hen is just like the hen has kind of like a misfire in forming the egg. So then you can see some yolk on it. Or if, there are certain things that can happen that can cause that. But I really think if you have laying hens and you're not seeing any eggs, that's probably what's going on.
I am so disgusted by this idea. Like I have shivers going up and down my spine right now.
Well, so the snakes do a really great thing for your property. They'll also keep the rodent populations down. And they're not dangerous. They might be dangerous to your chickens if you have really little ones in there.
No, I don't.
But it's just a matter of you put those fake eggs in there, and then it's like a coexistence thing. You're like, you can eat anything on the property. I really don't care, just not this.
All right, I'm going to try that. I appreciate this so much. Thank you for telling me this. I feel like you may have solved this problem because I definitely have snakes on my property. Definitely have snakes. So, and I think I've seen a corn snake before. So it's very possible that this is what's happening. And the little bastard has just been taking my eggs. And I'm so shocked by this. I can't even tell you. Thank you so much.
Well, I hope that's a problem and you can get it resolved. So,
me too.
All right. Well, good luck with that. I'm so happy I called. I'm so happy if I helped you resolve that issue, because I've been hearing about it for a while, and I'm like, I keep thinking about different things. So.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Thanks for calling.
Yeah, no problem. Bye-bye.
Bye. Wow. If that might have solved my entire problem. All right, you guys, the line is open again if you want to call in 617-8585 Fox. Wow, amazing, brilliant chicken info. Absolutely brilliant. I have a chicken snake. I never even thought of that, and thought of it just makes me cringe. Ugh. All right, we've got another. This is fun. I like taking your
call
calls.
from
John.
Hi, John. Welcome to the program.
Get out of town.
You're on. How are you?
There's a delay, isn't there? That's weird.
Really?
Freaking me out. Traverso closed down, by the way.
No.
In Orland.
No.
I know.
Traverso's
yeah, I know,
closed?
Right?
Are you kidding? That's one
the
of my
one in Orland and what?
That's one of my dad's good
Naperville's
friends, by the way. That's he was.
Is it really?
Yeah. Mr. Traverso is one of my dad's good friends. I need to tell my dad that it closed. Because he hasn't been in Chicago in a while. Did it really? By the way, for those of you who aren't from Chicago area, this is a famous pizza place on the South Side called Traverso's.
It's so weird hearing in the background. Yeah, deep dish is for yuppies and out of towners.
Out of towners.
They're not. Yeah, you got to go. Like most of Chicago is like, yeah, and we don't talk like. We don't say sausage, and we don't do the whole SNL thing either. It's not cool.
My dad kind of says sausage, though. I got to tell you, he does.
Does he?
Well, the South Side is a little different. Okay, so do you remember the Solozzi Edelson commercials? The Solozzi Edelson Ford. Solozzi Edelson Ford. The way that girl talks is exactly how all the girls on the South Side talk. And I have videos, old videos of myself at about 7 at Christmas going, "Look, Ma, it's a porcelain doll." Like that.
Oh, yeah. I had an ex-girlfriend. She said, "You say Ma." I'm like, yeah, Ma.
Yep.
Yeah.
Hey, Ma. Like, yeah, I've gotten rid of it over the years. Lots of years of broadcasting will take that out of your voice, but I can definitely hear it. When I hear it, I know, oh, that's a Southside Chicago gal,
Yeah, it's like New Jersey light. I always feel like I should have married a New Jersey gal. It's like a step up or something.
Are you still in the Chicago area? Are you from Chicago?
Oh, no. Lightfoot, that's pretty scary.
Oh
kind of.
yeah, I know. I mean, if you can get out, right?
Yeah, yeah. I want to make it short and sweet for other people out there. I love watching your show. I think you're great. I can tell you're from my neck. But a lot of times people think, and this is like switching gears a little here, but like a lot of times, like I watch probably a lot of the same people you do with like Nick Rekieta and all them, and they all think it's like a culture war, but like they don't really realize like, and this is one of the reasons why I like you. I like your personality. I think you're funny, and
Sweet.
you're intelligent, but like
Medium smart.
you. but you know about SEL, and you know about like these agencies, and it's so baked in. Like I don't think there's any amount of culture to change it. I mean, I can go from a religious perspective, but I know that's a turnoff for a lot of people, so I try to keep it secular. But it's really, to me, based on like two things that I see. One, it's structurally like they'd have to like get rid of tons of agencies. And the other thing I think that a lot of people don't talk about is like what they propose or espouse to is like, this whole feeling of, like me, you, your kids, like we're all bad for the planet, which is like, if you see everything that they, line up to or champion is all about things that, don't really, want more people on this planet. I'll just leave it at that so it's not so controversial. And I'll also let you go unless you have another comment. But I just like your take on that.
Don't go yet. I hear
Okay.
what you're saying. I hear what you're saying, and I think what you're saying here is that the policies that the left is pushing on us is actually pushing anti-life policies that will result in a population decline, which goes.
Yeah, I try not to get religious on that because I know there's a lot of people, but I just want people to see that, like what it is, like
Yeah,
get
it makes
many
sense. I
people
mean,
on board for that.
look at what is his name? Bill Gates. He's open about population control. These people
Yeah.
on the left, it is their goal to reduce the number of people on the planet. And frankly,
Yeah. Ultimately,
I
yes.
think that's why COVID was even created in the first place. I think that it was meant to be a population minimizer. I think it was meant to kill people off. And look, if they had done a better job of it, we would have. That's terrifying to even think of. I almost feel like maybe it wasn't made as virulent as it could have been because they wanted to see what they could get away with. I mean, we know it leaked out of a lab. We know that. We know they were. What were they
Right.
doing, messing with this stuff? Why are they creating viruses that will have kill rates to kill people? Why is that happening? Why are our governments doing such evil things? So we need to ask ourselves this. We need to ask why. And the left specifically with this transgender stuff and the SEL stuff, it's all leading kids to sterilize
Not
themselves.
reproduce. Yeah.
To sterilize
Yeah, exactly. I'm on Rumble, and I'm the castration abomination guy. If you've ever seen me, I don't get a lot of responses from people because I think people think I'm crazy. But like as far as like conspiracy, like I love a good conspiracy, like alien or anything like that. But like as far
I
as
like the
like
reptilian
lab-
ones. The reptilian
the
conspiracy is
lizard
fun.
people. I gotta have theory on that. Why people call them the lizard people. But and I could give you one, but I will give you one before I go. But as far as like the lab's concerned, the thing I find interesting is, was it on purpose? We'll never know. But the one thing is they have a real reckless cavalier again towards life. I mean, if you see this with the train, if it was, I hate to say this because, to me, any life is important. Homeless people are no better than or worse than me, in my opinion. Which is, that's neither side really goes for that. But like I don't know. That's my point. They have a very reckless, careless view of life and what it means.
No,
and
you're
all of
absolutely
that,
right.
so.
You're absolutely right. Thanks so much for calling in. I sure appreciate it.
Yeah, I'm glad you let me go. I want to listen. Love your show. Thank you.
All right. Thanks. I love hearing from you guys, and I love hearing that you like listening to this. And I agree with him that the people in charge of the world, whoever's in charge of this world, do seem to have a reckless disregard for the life on this planet. Whether we're talking about the types of experiments they're doing in labs, or if we're talking about the type of things they're pushing on our kids in schools. They have a reckless disregard for our health and safety. I think that that's very clear from COVID lockdowns, a reckless disregard for the mental health of our children, a reckless disregard for the health of people in general. And I'm tired of it. I'm very tired of it. And I think you are too. And I think they do treat us like cattle. You know, we are a commodity. Mr. Fox just sent me a text. He got 100% on his on a marketing midterm he took. He's very excited about that, and so am I, because he's working on it really hard. He's in a master's program, and it has been incredibly time consuming. Call in now. I'm still taking your calls. 617-8585 Fox. The line is open. I can only take one call at a time. So if you hear me on the phone, just wait until I hang up and then you can call back. 617-8585 Fox. Thanks for the super chat. Alacrity sent for the fake egg fund. Thank you so much. I sure appreciate you guys. You know, it always gives me a thrill when you guys send a super chat. It makes me think that you care about this. You like this type of entertainment and what I do, and it's great. And I appreciate it. Those of you watching on Rumble, I appreciate you too for doing for being on alternative media and supporting alternative media. You know, you guys keep mentioning on locals Bill Whittle. You know, Bill Whittle is one of the originals at PJ Media, right? You want me to have him on as a guest? I'd be happy to have him on. In fact, Steve Green, who is vodka pundit at PJ Media, he does a weekly show with Bill Whittle. I can't remember what it's called. I think it's called Right Turn, The Right Turn, or Right something. Anyway, Steve Green I've been trying to get him on this program since I started doing it. He's just a really busy guy. You want to talk about a consummate gentleman? That would be Steve Green. He writes at pjmedia.com. He is such a good guy. I absolutely love him. And I love that you guys love the show. And I love hearing from you. I think it's so fun that I found a way to take calls. I just can't do it when I have guests on the show because they can't talk to you. But I can talk to you and the audience can hear you. So call in 617-8585 Fox. I've spent a lot of time on Google Voice, by the way, getting that number. I was on all these sites like, how do I get a number that has the word Fox in it? So funny. Let's get over to Rumble and see how you guys are doing over there. Jess Wegg, shout out to you over there in the Rumble chat. You've been hanging out with us for a long time too, one of the OGs. Thank you so much for being here. Let's go back over to, oh yeah, Mr. Fox is in a master's program and it's kicking his ass and it's really hard. And it's great that he got 100% on his midterm because I know he was stressed out over that. I don't know if you've ever done a master's program, but it's no joke. It's like all algebra. It's ridiculous. All right, I'm looking for more of my mail that I can read to you. Let's see. Did I read this one? All right. Here's one. Megan, I think the misogyny you're picking up on has more to do with the invasion of and continued occupancy in male spaces by women. Oh, this is an interesting letter, you guys. I think you could take the conservative out of your article and come to a lot of the same conclusions. It's a microcosm that's been a long time coming of what happens when women enter the guys' locker room or the clubhouse works as well. Some men, regardless of political ideology, will pretend to be offended that they've never heard a guy speak like that. I think Trump's grab them by the pussy type language, or think of Trump's grab them by the pussy language. Whether it's right or wrong, the fact of the matter is around other guys, men will speak completely differently, and the entire nature of their interaction changes when women enter. Typically, when women enter a male space, the space normally changes to cater to a woman's need. Not always, but more often than not. A lot of these changes are completely the fault of the men gatekeeping or failing to gatekeep these spaces. Men don't have an in-group bias and thus aren't great gatekeepers. A lot of this resentment may come out as misogyny manifested unfairly at women, when in my opinion, the nature of men in general is to blame for this. Men want women around and will put up with all sorts of inconveniences to make this possible. This is demonstrated through the transgender movement in perverse ways. Tampons included in men's restrooms, for example. It doesn't affect men. Why do we care? Because women are generally speaking better gatekeepers for women's spaces, and rightly so, they should be. They're only recently coming up against this issue in women's sports and locker rooms. There's a large resentment from men in general because there aren't a ton of male spaces, if any, left to exist in the West as a whole. This extends to virtual spaces as well. Now, this is where I disagree with him. Video games, the video game journalism industry, Twitch hot tub streamers, Gamergate. Yes, these are technically gender neutral spaces, but they never really were until very, very recently. Okay, but guys, You cannot possibly think that the gaming space was going to stay just for guys. My daughters grew up with games, like they are gamers. They're not allowed in just because it was historically a male space. That's not okay. That's, and the workplace is not just a male space. Women are there. So it can't be a male space. But I agree that men deserve their own spaces, like country clubs, golf clubs. My dad belonged to a country club, and they had a derby room that was a bar and restaurant. You couldn't go in if you were a woman unless you were a server. It was female only. I mean, we're getting a call.
Call from
Meredith.
Meredith, welcome to the program. Is this my Meredith who's doing all of my merch for me?
It is indeed.
Yay! How are you?
I've been better, but I was just passively listening until somebody in the letter was like, no, you can't play video games. This is a man's thing. That is the dumbest bullshit I have ever heard. Like, let me explain something about video games. I understand that there are 12-year-olds that will express how much they want to screw your mother just because they can to get under your skin, even though it doesn't actually do that, but they're children and they don't understand this fact. But what's funnier is that women will get so offended sometimes in these games. And I know because I've been in these lobbies myself online playing games for most of my life, like, Call of Duty and that kind of stuff. I hear this kind of stuff all the time. I will give it right back to them because I know that it's not actually directed at me. It's just directed at them being stupid boys, like doing their things that they do until they learn how society works. They get a little older and do a little better. But like, it's so weird that they'll get offended by like being told to go in the kitchen and make a sandwich. I'm like, I'll go make the sandwich when you make me one first. Like, I'll just respond like that and we'll all move on with our lives because this doesn't have to be a difficult thing. But everybody turns this into this huge deal where it's like, let's separate women out from esports. We can't have like mixed sex teams anymore. That can't be a thing.
Of all the things to get upset about, video games is the one place men and women can compete with no advantages to either party. So why wouldn't we want to be in that space together? Now, I understand that maybe it was male dominated for a while and now it's not. And maybe there are some men who are resentful of that, but like, grow up. What is so terrible about playing video games in spaces with women? Because you can't have that be a locker room anymore. Like, I don't know. Like, that to me is a stretch. It's been many years. And by the way, he also included gaming journalism in that. Do you know that's how I won my award? I won an award for best excellence in geek journalism for my reporting on Comicsgate and on that was related to the comics world, which was, and also that was some reporting about Gamergate as well. How can you say that gaming journalism or geek journalism is a male dominated thing? It's simply not. I mean, what?
Yeah, it's like one thing, like I understand when I hear men say they're like, I don't want women talking about football. Like they don't want them on as like the broadcasters or whatever as the narrators. I'm like, okay, fine. I guess you want to like bro out and have your thing. Whatever. A lot of women like football. A lot of them don't. It's kind of a whatever thing. But when it comes to gaming, it's just like, there are so many women of all different levels of life that play it. Like this is a thing that kids do, it's a thing teenagers do, it's a thing people in their 50s do. Like I know a 70-year-old woman that still uses the Wii Sports game every day for exercise.
Yeah, I mean,
like everybody's at every level, and especially when it comes to riding. Riding is the most gender neutral thing on this planet. Like it doesn't matter who you are.
I know. Why does a certain type of journalism belong to men? That's really weird to me. Now, I want to give this man some credit too. I mean, he may not be saying this. What he may be trying to say here is that because the Twitch hot tub streamers, for instance. So that goes to the Gamergate thing, where these women came into the gamer space and were sexing it up, right, for the clicks and this, and that seemed unfair to men. The men who were doing the streaming were like, okay, that we're not porn. So why are you coming in here doing this porn thing, or porn light or whatever to attract? It seems like a bad grift. And I agree that that sucks. But then again, if you can make the grift and that's what you're doing and people are paying for it, it's a free country,
Yes.
I
will say
it was way, way, way overblown though. And there were women responsible for doing a whole lot of bullshit, like lying about being swatted and all sorts of stuff to make some of these men look timid. That there was a lot of stuff going on with that was not okay, and it wasn't SJW takeover. It was women these far left women trying to take over an entire industry, and they did. They were able to do it.
Yep.
So
and the Gamergate is actually where I got into listening to people like you and like Sargon of Akkad and stuff when I was a teenager. Like that was the kind of spot I started in with all of this, where I got in the culture fight and, those sorts of things. And it always, even when I was younger, especially, it royally pissed me off that Anita Sarkeesian had the audacity to act like she owned what was going to happen in video games with sexually, after she had also been a part of the whole Gamergate situation, promoting sexuality for her benefit.
Right.
It was weird.
Yeah, right. Busted says women going into men's spaces pimping themselves out. Yeah, that's definitely a problem. I mean, to me, if you went into the space to join the space as it was and play the games, and that's one thing. But if you're going in there to exploit men, to exploit them through that's a different thing.
Yeah, like those streamers, like what's her face, like Belle Delphine or whatever.
Right.
Like she's also a porn star on the side, so that's a very thing where you're like, yeah, the only reason you're on Twitch is to promote that side of yourself, and the games are a secondary situation. So I can understand those women, because they're really specifically there not because they love to play video games or they enjoy that space and actually get genuine entertainment from it. It's just a grift for them.
Right.
It's infuriating, honestly, because then it makes the people that just want to keep their head down and play their game and have fun, the women that want to do that, then we have to deal with all the 12-year-olds and the older men that are like, get out, you can't handle it, or they start making comments to try to get you angry. And for me, I always thought that was funny, because I'm like, I'm not going to fight with you. There's no fight here. I know you want me to, so then you can make fun of me and have a reason. But I was like, how about you just make fun of how, honestly, there's a lot of shots I missed that I shouldn't have, because I can't aim.
Yeah, I mean, the playing together, I think, is the thing that should not be controversial. But I do understand women coming in and exploiting them, exploiting themselves, and then tempting these men, and then calling them pervs for wanting to watch this stuff. I mean, it's wrong. That's all wrong.
Yep.
Thank you so much for calling in, Meredith, and thank you also.
Yeah, for sure.
Thank you also for all the hard work you are doing in the merch store. You are amazing. Your artwork is great, and you make me laugh really hard. And we're working on the next thing that's coming, you guys. Meredith is working on she has destroyed her Google search results for me, because she's trying to draw
I'm still mad about that.
I know. She's trying to draw a fox for this mug that is going to be like an anthropomorphic fox.
Yeah, I noticed yesterday you were talking to the guy that's dealing with the pedophiles, and he's like, "Oh yeah, they start with furry porn," and I'm like, "Great, that's great. I feel wonderful about the direction of my mental health now, Megan."
Because she had to search anthropomorphic foxes. And there's like all these furries in the search results. I'm sorry, Meredith. I apologize.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And it'll only
You
be
know,
like a
if I
year, and then your Google search results should be all cleaned up by then.
yeah, I'm sure the NSA agent will also leave me alone too now that they've got my number.
Yeah. Thanks for calling in, Meredith.
Thanks. Good talking to you. Bye.
Too. All right, guys, I got to finish this email and then I got to get running soon. So last call's coming in anytime now. You can call me at 617-8585-FOX. Let's finish this email from this person who said, Sydney Watson's issue, Robert Barnes and Viva discussed this briefly on 213 podcast, was that she's a mismatch with Elijah. The reason he got the Blaze job was because of his channel aptly named Slightly Offensive. You Are Here's thing was that they read all the super chats, something Tim Pool doesn't do, which is the entire reason Eliza Blue and Jack Murphy think. Here's comes
Call from
Brandy.
Was it Randy or Brandy?
Brandy.
Randy, how are you?
I'm doing good. How are you?
I'm good. Should we finish reading this email while you're on the
go
phone?
ahead.
Let's finish reading this, and then we'll get to your call. Let's see. Which is the entire reason Eliza Blue and Jack Murphy became a thing. Oops, sorry guys, the line's full now, so I have to decline that. And you can call back in just a minute. Something Tim Pool doesn't do. So it's why Eliza Blue and Jack Murphy became a thing to begin with. Tim and You Are Here's audience has large overlaps, mostly male. So people would super chat You Are Here if they had guests on who Tim wouldn't ask tough questions to. I believe Elijah is a sloppy drunk from watching the show and have no doubt that he acted inappropriately. The issue with Sydney was she would read the super chats, but she wasn't in on them, which was the joke, as in people paying, so she would read their chats, would intentionally trick her into saying something or reading things that would make her the butt of the joke. That was what people paid them to do on the show, and they advertised that. That's the reason I think your prognostications about her treatment will come to bear. Unfortunately, I think you're correct, though. A lot of the very same women who stood up for men will probably suffer reputational damage. I don't think it has to do with conservatives or conservatism, although it may seem that way because the Overton window is so warped that anyone with any semblance of independent thought will be labeled conservative, whatever that means anymore. Anyhow, thank you, and I enjoyed your article and plan on reading more. I've been searching for someone writing about the culture war on the independent libertarian right axis and look forward to your work in the future. So overall, I mean, I thought this was a really good letter, and perhaps I think that he and I mostly agree. It's just about that what's a male space that I disagree with. So anyway, back to the call. How are you? Where are you calling from, by the way?
I'm calling from Nebraska.
Nice. Well, how are you, Brandy? What's going on with you today?
I'm doing pretty good. I have a quick question for you on your chicken coop issue.
Okay.
Are you using chicken wire?
I do use a variety of different things. So there is chicken wire around the bottom of one part of the coop. And I'm trying to think, what is the run? What's on? Yeah, the run has chicken wire as well. A snake could not get through that. Now, if it's a small snake, it could, I guess. The chicken wire, I guess, could let a small snake go through, right? Because chicken wire is a little bit, it's like this, right?
Here's the issue with chicken wire is it's malleable to almost any predator. A small possum can get through chicken wire. Easy peasy.
What?
All they have to do is bend the wire a little bit. Raccoons have been known to do it too. I'm setting up my chicken coop here for this year, and I'm having to get hardware cloth of about a 1/4 inch by 1/4 inch for the first bottom 2 feet, and then right underneath.
Wait,
you want
say that again? What is it?
It's called hardware cloth. It comes in a roll, just like the chicken wire, but it is small metal squares, and it's not bendable like the chicken wire is.
Okay, I have some of that. I have that. What did I use it for?
and also put it around the bottom and make a skirt
Okay.
about
Yeah.
1 to 2 feet out from where your chicken coop is,
All right.
and kind of cover it with a little bit of dirt or leaves so the grass and stuff grows through it in the spring. Because what that does is anything that might try to wiggle in underneath, if you've got like a board that's kind of mushy or isn't quite level and there's like a little spot, it can squirm underneath. You can get snakes in the underneath the run, and they'll get into the coop that way.
All right. I'm going to have to take a look around.
Put that wire down. Yeah, if you put that wire down all the way around the base, if it's stationary, that'll keep anything from getting in, because what it will do is it will just crawl straight through, and then it hits the edge there and it'll go straight down.
Hold on 1 second. Let me see if I can put this other call on hold. Hold on.
Call from
Brad.
Hey, Brad, I'm going to put you on hold for a second, okay?
Okay.
All right. Now I think I got Brad on hold. If I hung up on you, Brad, you can just wait till No, I didn't. He's on hold. It worked. Oh my God. Okay, we're back. Okay, so we're back.
Okay. Yeah. So also have that harder wire with the smaller holes.
Okay.
And then it will keep anything that's big enough to eat an egg from getting through the chicken
Well, this
wire.
is all fantastic information, Brandy. I appreciate that so much. Raccoons are total assholes, by the way. Yes, that's true. Raccoons are assholes.
Oh, yeah. And so are possums.
So are possums.
They're dicks.
Yeah, they're dicks.
Yes.
Thank you so much for the call, Brandy.
I can be happy about that, but hey, what the heck?
Y'all are going to solve my chicken problem. I know it. I know you are. Thank you so much for calling, Brandy.
Oh, and make sure that your chickens are getting enough protein in their feed.
Yep, I have upped the protein. I have done that. So I think they are getting enough, but we'll see.
All right. Well, hey, good luck with the chickens.
Thank you,
I'll
Brandy.
talk to you later.
All right. Bye-bye. All right, Brad, you're on the show. How are you?
Oh, I'm doing well. I missed the first hour, so if you covered this, I'm sorry. But I'm a decades-long locomotive engineer, and if you had any questions about railroad operations, I'd be happy to answer them. Or if you want to use me as a resource later on.
Yeah, I'd love that, actually. I'd like you to send me an email so I have your contact. But let's talk about this for a second, because what are you hearing about the state of either the tracks or the railroad industry in general? Are the problems increasing? Are the derailments increasing? What's going on?
In terms of this specific thing, you won't know anything until they do their report. They're usually pretty thorough on assessing blame. It's the NTSB does the investigation. It takes several months because they got to do everything, and then they'll do it. As far as rumors, I've just heard that the car there was some type of issue with one of the cars, and but I don't know for sure, so I really don't want to.
Sure.
I can answer questions of rumors you might have, how it might possibly work, but I don't have any special knowledge. The Class 1 railroad I work for hasn't told us anything. They're not going to, probably, unless it's something specific. I can imagine there might be, if what I hear is true, there'll probably be some rule changes on how we handle some things. Apparently there's a rumor that we have these trackside indicators that will tell you if we have hot journals on cars, and they'll send a warning, and then we'll have to act upon that warning. So if for some reason they didn't heed those warnings or something like that, throughout the history of railroading, they've blown up town about once a decade. It just happens with the nature of things. Things break. It's man-made. Stuff wears out that you can't see. The cars are inspected on different schedules for the different parts of the rail cars. Some it's a 5-year inspection, some it's an annual inspection. In terms of the stuff we need to use every day, that's inspected every time that a train's made up. They'll do a certain type of inspection on the car to make sure that the brake shoes work, that they'll stop, and that they set up, things of that sort. As far as I think you're talking about PSR, and that's that's been a result of the hedge funds taking over the railroads. And what happened there
explain, what does PSR stand for again?
It's precision scheduled railroading. And what they're basically doing is it's kind of two things from my end. The hedge funds took over the railroads and they're going for kind of quick profits. And again, I'm speaking for myself. If I get found out by my company, I'm not talking about them, but generally,
sure,
they've gone after a high operating ratio. So they've kind of gotten rid of all the fixed cost. Up in Canada, that included maintenance on rails and stuff like that. I haven't seen that on my railroad. They're investing a lot of money into infrastructure. But what it does, they're kind of trying to speed up the technology, and they're going through growing pains. So they've made longer trains. They've made, because the trains are longer, there's less crews, there's less employees needed to run the trains. So railroads have always taken a stick of dynamite to labor. If you have seniority, you'll work every day. But if there's any kind of slowdown, they'll make deep, deep cuts into the train crews. So they haven't found the right balance of what they need. Now, couple that with COVID and the fact that this generation, right or wrong, and probably right, doesn't want to do jobs like railroading because it's hard on family life. It's exhausting because you work 24/7. When you first start out, you're cut off a lot. That's not attractive to people today, even though the pay is still relatively good. I kind of just woke up from working all night, so let me know if I'm rambling. But anyway,
no, this is all very interesting. I have the smartest callers ever. You're way higher than medium
well,
smart.
I'm not smart. I've just done this long enough. It's been pounded into me with a hammer.
My uncle was a train conductor, and he was gone a lot too.
Okay.
He was gone a lot.
Yeah. Well, how old a man was he, if I could ask?
Well, he is now. He must be in his 70s now. So he's
so if he retired, yeah. But anyway, so when he probably started, it was ran by scheduling. It was ran by paperwork. And everybody kind of had to be at a certain place at a certain time. I'm assuming he hired out in the 60s.
Probably.
But after that, it signaled, it got automated as much as possible. Technology made it where there were 5 men on a crew when he hired out because there were no radios and they had to pass hand signals. Radios became cheap, so you didn't need 3 or 4 guys passing hand signals. You had a guy at the end of the train for radio, which we have now, and he's telling you what he needs done. Back up, go forward, things of that sort. But anyway, back to the operating ratio. So when they got rid of it's basically getting rid of fixed costs. So everyone that wasn't absolutely necessary at headquarters was kind of let go. And so all the support stuff's lacking. One guy's doing 5 jobs. One person, I'm sorry, I'm old. One person's doing 5 jobs and nothing gets done because who does that in real life, right? You can only be professional for so long before it's just like, man, why am I working? Why am I beating my head against the wall? That's kind of just human nature. So a lot of the subsidiary stuff that would go to making the job quicker and more efficient is gone. Now, with these long train sizes, they went for the long trains before they went to the siding capacity to where we could meet trains. What happens is, like, say, where I live, it's a 200-mile run. You've got 8, 9, 10 trains running back and forth, so you'll have these sidings. So we'll duck into a siding and let a train by us, and then we'll leave. But it's hard to do that efficiently. They've also gone to kind of computer dispatching to, quote unquote, make it easier on the dispatchers, but it's like everything else. It's just less dispatchers, and the computer does more in terms of planning. There's more trains, so when you get to the main hubs, it's hard to get in and out. So what happens, you have these long trains, and there's not the storage capacity for them, so they're blocking crossings. They're doing things like that. And that's where there might be a problem. You're trying to get an ambulance across, and this is a 3-mile long train when they used to be 1.5 miles tops. You get into logistical problems there. But in terms of PSR, it's just kind of emerging technology that's going through growing pains, and they haven't figured out how to scale it. But the railroads will, they'll pour money onto something until they get it right. or get it right enough.
Well, I
Did that
sure
make sense?
appreciate your perspective on this, and I definitely want you to send me an email because I might have some questions that I need to.
Is that your PJ Media email, or is there another one?
It's Proton Mail. It's meganfox.writer@protonmail.com. And
MeganFox.writer. Okay, or is it on your
it's on PJ
YouTube
Media.
or Rumble page?
Yeah, it should be. And
Okay.
it's also on PJ Media on my columnist page. You'll see it. It's in there.
Okay.
Or
Alrighty.
you can always DM me on Twitter too, but I appreciate this and I'd like to keep in touch with you so in case I have questions I can run it by you.
Okay, yeah, and I hope that was clear as mud. Anyway, thank you.
Thanks, Brad. No, I think it was great. I think you guys, my audience, is proving to be incredibly intelligent. Sharon Cabana on Locals in the Locals chat. Shout out to the Locals chat. meganfox.locals.com sent a $5 tip. Says, came in late, but I have to say you sound like a pro radio host taking calls. So many people calling in. I could not love it more. Me too. This has been a lot of fun. I got to leave it here though now because it's getting close to 5 o'clock. I'm running behind. I got to go and get dinner started and I got to get some stuff done for the family. I got a sick one that I got to take care of. And I promised Paula, you heard me say it, I was going to write something today. So I need to go and get that done. But it's been an absolute pleasure talking to you today. And I hope Paula and I answered some of your questions about the Ohio derailment and the situation going on there. If you have not signed up for meganfox.locals.com, you need to be there. You need to go there. We did a movie yesterday and we started a series of confession tapes on Netflix that is just fantastic. It's about false confessions and how police trick people into confessing to crimes they didn't commit. And yesterday's was an absolute disaster. Wow, what a story. And you're missing it if you're not there with me. And the replay is available. So if you sign up now, you can still watch that. And we're going to do episode 2 coming up here soon. And in order to know that, you'd have to be following me on Locals to get the notifications. And by the way, you can follow me for free on Locals. It's meganfox.locals.com. You can follow me for free there. And there's a lot of free content as well. I don't know if this helps anybody want to sign up on Locals or not, but this morning I did a live laundry stream where we listened to Legal Mindset's live stream about his about Sidney Watson's lawsuit, and I responded to it. I did ask him to come on this program today. He had told me earlier in the week he might come on today, but he said he couldn't come on, and he hasn't responded about when he will come on because we were planning on kind of debating his take on it versus mine. But so far, he hasn't accepted my invitation. So read into that whatever you will. But I did go over what I wanted to say about it on my Locals, on a Locals exclusive live today, where I folded laundry and did some sewing and mending while we listened to it and responded. And I thought it was pretty interesting. And it was a nice chat. Everybody was really into it, which was fun. All right, guys. Don't forget to check out the merch store. So much cool stuff in there if you want to support the show. I love talking to you guys. Oh, for Fox's Sake is my new favorite item that's in there. And it comes in t-shirts, sweatshirts, hoodies, and I think there's a mug as well. And we've got some new mugs and we've got new merch on the way. New Make Americans Friends Again merchandise that Meredith has designed that is really good. You guys are really going to like it. I just can't figure out how to make it go live yet. As soon as I do that, it'll be available. But check out the merch store and I'll be back. I will be on Steve Gosney's live stream on Rumble tomorrow night at 8 p.m. I told him that I would make an appearance and I intend to do that. And what else am I doing? Friday, I have to record my podcast. I don't plan on doing any live streams, although you made it live? Meredith made it live. Let's go check it out. Let's go see the Make Americans Friends Again. Hold on. Let's go over there. Let's go see it. Bookmark. And I have more letters to read too, by the way. So if there's more news that breaks before the end of the week, I might do another live stream. I'm enjoying the call-ins. I think that's a lot of fun. All right, let's share this. Okay. Here's the store. Here's what it looks like. And let's go to, there it is. Check it out. How cool is this? Make Americans friends again. How fun is this? I love this. And it comes in different colors. There's a green one. There's t-shirts. There's mugs. And I really believe this, folks. I believe that Americans can be friends again. And this is one of the things that bothers me about all this animosity between men and women that I don't think should be happening. I think that we can all be friends again. And that's the thing we need to focus on, because we are stronger together and we need to be here for one another, because times are tough and times are getting tougher. As we talked about with Paula Bolyard today, my managing editor, the world seems to be falling apart. It really seems to be falling apart. And if the world does fall apart, who are you going to turn to? Who are you going to go to and rely on in the time when it's all falling apart? And you now need to rely on other people. We cannot just be an island unto ourselves. We are not islands unto ourselves. We need one another. And you and I need to do a better job of maybe getting that message out. And I don't want to ever foment hatred in my chat. I don't want to say that it's okay to hate one another for no damn reason, or mistrust one another. I think we need to start learning how to trust one another again, because we certainly can't trust, the authorities, can we? Nobody trusts what they're saying, what they're doing, and we need to make friends with our neighbors again, because this division that is between us has got to stop. And so I really appreciate that she made a new version of my Make Americans Friends Again merch. And I think this is a great conversation starter too. I think if you wear this, if you have this mug at work, maybe somebody can ask you, what does that mean? It means we need to put aside all of our crappy differences and realize that we're all in it together. And when a train derails and blows up and there's a horrible chemical spill, we need to rely on one another to help keep us safe, get us the information that we need, and forget about the government. The government can't help you. The government can't save you. The government pretty much just screws everything up. So we need to form alliances between one another that are strong and that will get us through. All right, that's it for me today, guys. I love you all. Thanks so much for being here and for being a part of the show. Please check out meganfox.locals.com. I love having you there. And when I hit 500 subscribers on Locals, because we're at like 2 something right now, 287 to something like the 237, I don't know. When we hit 500, I will be raffling off to just my local subs a vintage signed t-shirt from the Johnny Depp days. That was my t-shirt from my merch, and it's going to be, I think, the Frosty at a drop of a hat mug. And I'm gonna make sure I'm going to do a raffle with you guys, and I'm going to enter in all your names into the wheel just of my local subs, and we're going to give it away. And it's going to be great. It's going to be fun. So definitely get over there and at least follow me. If you can't pay for it now, I get it, but follow me for free, because there's lots and lots of good stuff. All right, guys, time to go.
I was so lost, my world is near its end. I almost felt my head is full of a million choices. I am alive, I'm not here to pretend. I love my friends, my heart is filled with a million voices. Oh, this road has many choices. Oh, and my heart, million voices. Come next to me, my friend, embrace the sky. I'm not afraid to fly. It's not the time to say goodbye. my friend, embrace the sky. I'm not afraid to fly. It's not the time to say goodbye. I don't wanna say goodbye. No, I don't wanna say. No, I don't wanna say goodbye.
So thanks, Miss Rackets.
Thank
Cheers.
you. Cheers.
So I take it that you've
Johnny's
seen
problem is he
Cameron
should have
John's
come
bedroom
storming
before.
in there with
Yeah.
a string of
Do you
garlic
recall what
and
he
some
went
holy
into
water.
Mr. Judson's
cross.
sports bedroom with?
May the
Do you
power of
recall,
Christ
or no, you
compel you.
No, I don't.
You realized his house was infested with
Except for
succubuses.
that,
And
there's a picture here with you of what it, yes. Do you
Suck
recall
you
whether it was there
loaders.
when you arrived in the afternoon? I don't remember seeing it now. So while she
No wonder he said drown her before you burn her.
oh my god.
You-
Your next witness?
Now I know
Witness
why you
Ramos
wanted to
Melody
drown her.
Laces.
Your
And
next
that is
witness
also
lives in
by
Romania.
video.
Is that correct?
That begins with Ms. Vasquez.